Hello, everybody, and welcome to our finals for Minnesota LCS. This is our third place qualifier, with our final match being tomorrow night, Tuesday night. Right now, we have UMD Chicken Chasers against UMD Ram Ranch. Two teams from the same school fighting for this third place spot. I am Steve Bucket Kangas on play-by-play, joined by Wexler as my color commentator. Wexler,
how's it going, everybody?
Yeah, this is your first time on MNLCS. We've casted in the past, but how does it feel being on stage here with us?
It's kind of interesting. You know, I've played against a lot of these players before, so...
And you are the AD carry from St. Olaf, so
Correct.
If anybody is like, that name sounds familiar, well, now you know why, because you probably have seen him on stage before. So it's really fun to get a player perspective in this. This is the first time that I've casted with one of the players so far. So I'm excited to have you on here. Are you looking at the pick and bans with me right now as the team already hopped in?
Yes, I see these pick and bans. With first two bans from Chicken Chasers are Lulu and Zyra, with a Rumble ban in response from Ram Ranch. Something definitely interesting to note about two teams from each other's school banning against each other is that, of course, I'm sure these players all know each other incredibly well. They have a really good idea of what's in everybody's pools. So when you have these two teams where there's really no secrets, you got to think if they're going to, you know, these bans are going to be a lot more impactful.
Well, less about how much of like friends they are, how often they hang out with each other. It's more importantly how often they scrim against each other. Both of these teams being very close. They play a lot of competitively in practice for Minnesota LCS. So absolutely, I think that's a great point to bring up, is they know a lot about what each other likes to play, and they've had a lot of experience being able to ban against each other and pick against each other. Caitlyn is a very prioritized champion when it comes to both of the AD carries from these teams, so I'm actually not surprised to see that taken off the table. The next AD carries that are in priority right now, maybe the Lucian, maybe the Ezreal. As an AD carry main, though, what are your opinions as Lucian already is locked in for Chicken Chase?
I think that makes the most sense. Lucian, very open, very strong blind pick. If you don't know what you're going to be getting, you might as well pick Lucian. Fits into basically any team composition, fits into pretty much any strategy. Very safe lane phase with the chance to go off and carry the game by himself.
Well, something interesting to note is these AD carries playing against each other. Gavin97 into Cucurino. Both of them have had pop-off games on Ezreal before, but Gavin is opting to not take it. There were some words last time we had a stream with Gavin on smack talking, saying my Ezreal's better than yours, Cucurino, but you know what? Maybe he's respecting it. Maybe he's saying, all right, I'm not even going to try to take the Lucian. Or the Ezreal. Lucian's better, as it's going to be Lucian at Nami bot lane with a supportive mid laner Orianna.
Orianna Victor matchup is definitely interesting here. The Victor pick, to me, I think is a denial from Chicken Chaser's mid laner, based on the things in his pool, which is just another layer of complexity in this draft phase. And the Ivern Hover, I'd love to see it. Really fun jungler, has a lot of, it's locked in, has a lot of early gank potential, as well as probably the strongest counter jungling in the game right now.
And the double shields, Ivern and Karma shields, mean that whatever carries are on their team are going to survive for a very long time. If they're able to get something like the Ezreal that can already stay safe on his own, that works, but maybe they go for a hyper carry. Maybe they go for something like the Twitch. I know this is a champion that you oftentimes like to bring up, how much you think can impact the game. What are your opinions on what they should draft for AD carry?
I was actually just going to suggest the Kog'Maw, and you can see Chicken Chasers is definitely thinking about that pick here. I think with Kog'Maw off the table, I was going to say I'd pick Kog'Maw over Twitch here, but with Kog'Maw off the table, Twitch seems like the logical choice if you're going with a hyper carry. Like you said, though, you can go for the Ezreal, go for more of the power spike, and still expect the Karma Ivern to keep him alive for a really long time. On Ram Ranch's side, they're banning out Xayah's junglers, the Elise and the Rek'Sai. That was early pressure.
Yeah, makes sense. Once you're into that second banning phase, you take away whatever is still on the table. So double jungle bans makes a lot of sense here. The question is, they haven't taken away the Graves, they haven't taken away the Lee Sin. Champions that are considered kind of top-tier junglers at the moment, very aggressive, and can play well into the Ivern. So I'm wondering what they're going to try to pick up here. I mean, their pool is fairly limited.
I will say that, again, if you know... oh, there's the Gragas Hover. That could be top lane, could be jungle. I think we've seen in this league it get flecked to both positions. And the Nautilus as well. Okay, the Nautilus jungle is a lot less likely. So that's probably the top lane pickup for Chicken Chasers, which really just leaves them with the jungler. And we know that probably they'd want to pick up a heavier early ganker. I believe we heard something before the game about wanting to play something a little bit flashier. The Lee Sin.
True.
Only hope.
We were getting some confident chats in the loading screen. Cripple and Zyax saying who's going to play the better jungler. Zyax, what's on the table? It is the Graves, and it is locked in. I like the pick, actually. They have a pretty good tank on their team with the Nautilus, and even spread of AP and AD damage right now, with Orianna doing a lot of damage in the earlier stages of the game, but can also scale pretty well. And then the Lucian Graves, very strong early.
Absolutely. The Graves pickup is very important for Chicken Chasers here. I think looking at that composition without it, they definitely need to pick up a little bit more damage. Oh, and there's the hyper carry coming out from the side of Ramranch. I was just going to say that relying on Lucian as your only damage source outside of the Orianna, who takes a while to get online, can sometimes bite you in the butt. But the Graves comes in to support the damage. On the other side, on Ramranch, we have a double shield composition with a hyper carry in the form of Jinx.
And it's not the Twitch. That's interesting to note here. It's an AD carry that a lot of teams have been avoiding just because of how weak it seems to be in the meta. Is this something that I just don't know about yet? Is this a resurgence of Jinx? Is she good now, or is it just because of the team composition?
Jinx has been coming out, rising a bit in popularity recently due to Blade of the Ruin King becoming very popular in AD carries. Jinx's natural attack speed in her kit lets her get a lot of value out of an early Blade of the Ruin King build. And the other nice thing about that is that the early lifesteal lets you stay in lane longer, particularly against something as aggressive as a Lucian Nami combination.
The question I have then is Chicken Chasers have an incredibly aggressive early game composition with the Graves and the Lucian, whereas Ramranch, most of their damage is coming from the Victor and the Jinx, both known to be hyper-scaling champions. Do you think that they're going to be able to keep up with the damage?
I think so. They've got picked good insurance for themselves in this composition, where Ivern and Renekton are both very good at scrapping in the early game. Ivern can kite you forever, can just steal your jungle, also packs a fair amount of early damage. Renekton, lane bully, they can get a lot of pressure on the top side of the map and try to swing that down, get an advantage over Zyax in his jungle through the Ivern invades, and use that to keep the game under control until Victor and Jinx just snowball and run away with it.
Yeah, I think the key is keep them alive. If they can keep Victor and Jinx alive, I think it's going to be a pretty easy game here, actually, for the side of Ramranch if they're able to get to those power spikes that they need to. The question is, will they be able to handle the early game pressure of Chicken Chasers? They don't necessarily have the same shielding, but they have a lot of disengage with that Nami. So even if Renekton is able to jump on the Lucian, jump on the Orianna, they have Nautilus for peel, Nami, Tidal Wave is really good for peel. I think it's just going to be difficult for Ramranch to win that early game if they're relying on the Renekton to do that damage.
I think so too. I think the hope there is that Renekton gets a little bit ahead of the gold curve, and by getting into an early Black Cleaver with his Tiamat, that lets him split push against the Nautilus through the early mid game.
We saw a similar composition actually come out from the side of Mankato last week. They had the Renekton 2 games in a row, both times a split-pushing machine. One of those times playing into an Nautilus. So we've seen this matchup before, and we've seen it vastly sway in the Renekton's favor. Do you expect to see that again here?
It depends. It's all going to come down on how the junglers play around that lane. Just in general, the jungle pathing in this game is going to be very important. Certainly, Graves is going to be looking to affect the lane with the Jinx in it, because Jinx is so heavily involved in the win condition for Ramranch. But Ivern really wants to get his Renekton ahead so that he can utilize that map pressure advantage that the Fed Renekton will naturally generate for his team.
And also, Ivern kind of helping to mitigate some of that early game damage differential because of Daisy. I mean, it's basically a 6v5. Yes, Jinx and Victor might take a little longer to scale, but as you mentioned, Blade of the Ruin King means that Jinx can do more damage early. And then the Daisy providing that extra body on the field, just that much harder for Graves to get that damage and for Lucian to get that damage. So it's going to be interesting. I'm excited to watch what these team comps can do. I'm finding it difficult to decide which one I believe is the better composition, so I'm going to ask you first. Which team do you think got the upper hand here?
Well, I'm also not entirely sure, to be honest with you. My instinct, I think, is to go with the heavy engage composition that Chicken Chasers has built. Because it seems to me like they have the tools they need to shut down the win condition from Ramranch, whereas Ramranch's composition, a lot of pressure is on them to play the early game very well and to play it better than the kind of fire and forget strong early mid game team fighting from Chicken Chasers. That said, if the game goes too long, more than about 25-30 minutes or so, and Jinx gets to 3 or 4 items, Ramranch has a very clear advantage here.
I think I am actually going to agree with you. Chicken Chasers, we've seen time and time again that the teams that draft for the earlier stages of the game tend to win these MNLCS games. We haven't seen that many long games. I think our record is around 50 minutes, but that was in the middle of the split, and since then I think we've only had ones that are around 40 minutes for the longest game. They've been quick, they've been flashy, and it seems like teams, once they can get an advantage, usually it turns into a snowball situation. The question being, will the Renekton snowball, or will it be the bot lane Lucian into the Jinx? But I am going to give it to Chicken Chasers as well, just because of that engage that they have. The team fighting potential, and also just the fact that they spelled out a profanity with their bans. They spelled it backwards, though. I think they didn't realize that being blue side, it goes the opposite way. They put SSA. Come on, you gotta realize, you gotta reverse it, guys.
Ramranch with the actual bans there didn't get the memo, I suppose.
I guess not.
If you're on the old client, which I think nobody should be anymore, I'm pretty sure the client's been retired.
Yeah,
I've been upgraded for a long time, but
I was on the beta. Come on, get on my level.
Oh, if only.
I remember when I applied for it and got through, I thought I was so special. I'm like, oh god, like Riot picked me. I'm so cool. And then I realized, oh, it's anybody that applies gets on.
Oh, I applied for it. They didn't get me on.
Oh. Riot, my career at Riot Games is about to get underway as they trust me to be on their beta client. Though the issue is I didn't realize it was the client. I thought I was getting on the beta server.
Oh.
So I was like, oh yeah, this is awesome. Like I was on the alpha. I was on the alpha client. So I thought that I was getting on some kind of special server where I'd get to try a new champs. I was like, I get to play with all those YouTubers. I get to make my own channel now. The clickbaits, new Galio broken. But alas, it was just the new updated flashy spectate client and stuff. But right. Getting into this,
you have to get your viewers from MNLCS.
I guess so. Now getting into this game, we have for the side of Chicken Chase, there's Boych Wonder in the top lane with Zyx jungle, boosted 420 in the mid with Gavin 97 and Flez on that bottom side. For the side of Ramranch, Snowcane top side with Cripple in the jungle, Nerf Akali please mid, and Kuka Rhino with Kyle on that bottom side. Tell me a little bit about these summoner spells that we see. Most specifically, the mid laners. Victor taking Teleport, boosted 420 on Orianna taking Ghost.
Boosted 420 as a player is definitely, he is a highlight reel kind of guy. He's looking for the flashy outplay. Ghost plays 100% into that. Not surprised at all to see him take that summoner spell. Just let him juke and dodge, get the fancy feet, get all the way around all the skill shots, and get the outplay.
Well, so especially against the Victor. I mean, when he has a Chaos Storm ultimate dropped down, Ghost can really help you get out of that.
That is true, and it's definitely also helpful. Ghost has a lot of utility. If you see a gank coming, you can pop it to get away from it without having to use your flash.
Or you can pop it to get into a situation with your ultimate. Yeah.
Which is useful for Orianna, who's always looking for those engages. We have the mirrored invades from these teams. Really interesting, considering these teams, obviously, you'd expect they know how they play. Looks like Chicken Chasers is just going to look for the wards.
Ooh.
Well, yeah, they're just gonna end up warding each other's jungles. We'll see what happens if the junglers decide to stay or not.
Well, see, the thing is that the Ivern can easily steal the camp very quickly, whereas Graves, it'll take a little longer. So I think that this would be advantage to Ramranch if they decide to stay. It's difficult to tell now.
It'd be strange for them not to stay here. I feel like Ivern should stay, establish his... Well... Although Chicken Chasers has already sent their bot lane back, so they would have been discovered doing that. It's all just mind games.
Yeah, I got a question, Ramranch, why they didn't just take that camp right away. But maybe it is Cripple. Sometimes as the Ivern, you prep your own, then you go over to the enemy camp.
Renekton's gonna find it. I think Renekton spotted out the contingent at red buff. Yeah, we got pings coming down, so they know Graves is stealing.
Oh. This is really good for Ramranch, Zyx, and Boych Wonder, but they actually have a good amount of CC on the Snowcane. But Boych takes his W instead of the hook, so Snowcane can't get out. But seems like the Ivern is maybe going for this start where he preps his own camp and then use over the wall to take the enemy camp. It's actually a very smart move for Ivern, because then he can get back to his own buff a little quicker.
Yep, he knows that there's no risk for this because they saw Graves and Nautilus on the top side, so that's very heads-up counter jungling coming from Ivern, which is exactly what you want to do on that champion. Be curious to see if he's going to take this red buff and maybe try to get something done in bot lane, but looks like he's just going to return to his jungle.
Yeah, and not being level... Is it level 6? What level does Ivern share the buffs? I'm trying to remember here.
I want to say 6, but I don't play the champion. So
I feel bad. All in on the bot line in the meantime. Kyle taking a lot of damage, but coming in from Kakarino. It's returned. Exhaust and heal come in from Gavin. This is an all-in 2v2. First blood goes to Kakarino. Can they get anything more for it? Blaze!
Oh my.
You can't get the damage. A double to Kakarino. Level 2.
That's definitely something. Lucian has a lot of burst. His laning trading pattern is mostly around involves getting his burst down, but Jinx, when she's been allowed to just right-click on you for a while, has a huge amount of attack speed at level 1 from her passive, and you can see it just comes through huge there. Not to mention that Karma,
one of the boosted 420 in the mid lane, taking a lot of damage, is able to flash a under turret, but Voyage Wonder in the meantime, damage from the minion. But not dead! Able to return it, and I think a caster minion killed Voyage Wonder there. That was unfortunate. Would have been a great play.
Minions are truly overpowered. Riot, please.
I guess
yeah, really heads up play from Xyx to get the bait there, but just a little bit too slow getting up there.
Yeah, talking a little bit about that bot lane, not only is Lucian great level 2 into the Jinx, you mentioned Jinx, if she's able to auto-attack on you enough, can just auto-attack so fast, but the bigger thing, I think, is how strong Karma is level. Having that empowered Q and the root, that does so much damage.
The Q in particular, if you can get it on both the enemy laners, is just... That's a trade one right there. Anything you go for after that, you're just going to win, which you can see they come in with the confidence to just keep auto-attacking and finish the trade and get themselves an early double kill on this Jinx, which is looking very good for their win condition, since they want this Jinx to be a very strong force as quickly as possible.
Already Jinx with Doran's Blade, double longsword, and dagger to Lucian's just simple longsword. That's a pretty big power spike. It doesn't seem like much, but at this early stage of the game, this Jinx is going to be doing a lot of damage to Lucian as this top lane just keeps duking it out. We see Xyx is coming towards the bot side. Kyle taking a lot of damage. Can they return it onto Gavin? Here's the damage from the Jinx. The bubble lands. No summoner spells available. Kyle picks up that kill. Xyx, you're too late. And the empowered Defiance means that they are able to run away quickly. Flash from the Karma saves her life. And they're actually still getting engaged on by this bot lane. In the meantime, mid lane boosted goes down to Cripple. Another kill to Kakarino. He's not done. He's going in onto the Nami, but a great bubble will defend Flez's life.
Well, Kakarino's making me proud, what can I say? That was really slickly played to stop the Xyx dive and pick up a kill for himself on the return there. This is definitely something that, yeah, you can see that they've practiced this pick. This is definitely not a, oh no, we've been banned off for Caitlyn, what do we do? They were expecting, I think, to be playing Jinx, so...
And I loved the roam from Cripple mid lane. He knew that Boosted didn't have Ghost or Flash available because he used them during the last gank. Boosted was so far forward in lane, he just didn't really have any business being there when you don't have any defensive summoner spells. So really good roam from Ivern, picking up another kill on that mid side as well. And things are just going really poorly for Chicken Chasers right now.
Yeah, as you can see, a 3k gold lead on the board already for Ram Ranch. Just playing this early game incredibly well, and out of the lane you wouldn't have expected it. Jinx now finishing the Bilgewater Cutlass means that she's got a lot of lifesteal, and in general, when you've got lifesteal in a situation like this, you can just stay in lane forever. You can keep your opponent from getting to as much CS as possible. It's generally going to be really hard for this Lucian to get much done in the rest of this game now.
And also the boots means that she's just going to be able to run down Lucian and Nami, maybe help juke around those bubbles if she's able to pick up one kill or an assist. That passive. I forget exactly the name of it right now. It's something like run really fast. Yeah, get excited. There we go.
It's one of my favorites. Yeah, Jinx's kit. Jinx is a lot of fun to play as an AD carry. All of her abilities have exclamation points on them.
I never knew that actually.
Yeah, Switcheroo with an exclamation point, Zap with 2 exclamation points, Flame Chompers, and then Super Mega Death Rocket.
See, I feel like Jinx is one of those AD carries that 80 carry mains love it when she's in the meta because she is so fun to play. And more aggression onto Gavin 97. Exhaust comes in from Flez, but Cripple is here as well. Can they get the damage onto the Lucian? Heal comes in, but it might not be enough. One more auto, Kakarino. Go easy on them. 4-0-1 on this Jinx.
Well, I can understand why there were 380 carry bans coming out of Chicken Chasers now. Gotta say. Well played by Cripple to get in there for the lane gank. You can see got just a little bit of help to Kakarino to get in range for the last auto attack with Root Collar.
And just really beautifully played, juggling the turret pressure. Oh, Smite Steal away from Zyx. Kyle able to get the red buff. Zyx, what are you doing? You can't get this aggressive onto the Iron and the Karma, but low, so they do decide to back off. And a red buff onto the support. That's a great feel whenever you're the ranged support. Don't worry, I got
just
this
keep
damage.
Applying that. Yeah. Really, you can see that Ram Ranch is looking to use this advantage they have from the bot lane. You know, they've got so much pressure from the Jinx. Maybe not where they were expecting it from, but you can see the adaptation to say, okay, our bot lane's ahead, we're going to use this strength advantage that we've got, push in to get some objectives. Pick up the red buff for themselves, split it with the jungler onto Karma, really lets them start pressuring this tower, which is quite low.
And this is opposite from what we expected to see. We thought that if Ram Ranch was going to win a lane, it would be the top side, but now they're showing that this bot side is easily able to take the pressure. Turn it around. They try to get a little aggressive there, can't handle it. Zyx is coming in, but will be spotted by a ward, so they're going to back off a little bit here.
Yeah, it's been fairly tame in the other lane so far. Looks like across the board, outside of the spot lane, Chicken Chasers is keeping up all right. It looks like just a bit of poke damage traded. I feel like Zyx is kind of pinned to this lane now because he really wants to make sure this first tower hold stays up for as long as possible.
But the difficulty is when you're the jungler staying in a lane for that long, it allows the other jungler to just free farm your side of the jungle. They have a control ward on the blue. I would expect that to be gifted to boosted 420 soon. Zyx does take it back, but he's heading bot side again. He has nothing to farm down there. Maybe Dragon is a priority, but I think that he just needs to maybe let that turret fall. I mean, it's going to be going down soon here, no matter what. Yeah,
there's not much you can do, especially given Jinx's auto attack range. She'll be able to
given
get the
Nerf Akali, please, has also roamed down here. This might be a tower dive. Like 3 members, and they don't have a tank. Gavin 97 getting aggressive. What you can do as the Lucian, but you're not level 6, and there's the damage from the Victor, almost bursting down Flez. Oh, Super Mega Death Rocket, not getting it.
It's good. Yeah, that kind of optimistic rocket. Can't fault Kakarino there, because that's, you know, they expected to see that coming in. But first tower gold still goes into the Jinx. You can see the team actually scatters from the tower so that Jinx gets all of the local gold. Plus 650, that's gotta feel good.
And Nerf Akali, please, with a great roam. Even though they didn't pick up a kill, that wasn't necessarily the priority. All they needed to do was scare Gavin and Flez away from the turret so that they could pick up that first turret blood. Now they send Kakarino and Kyle top lane. It's a beautiful call. I love it when teams do this, the proactive lane swapping. Once your bot lane gets first turret, they don't need to stay bot anymore. Send the top laner down there. Have him pick up that farm as it's hit the turret because he has TP. He can join the fights a little faster, as now you're putting pressure on the second turret.
This has become pretty much the standard move after you get an early lane advantage like this. Now you can even see that Snowcane switched to the bot lane. He's without the tower behind him, the bot lane can't actually match to try to trade with him, so he gets to just push that in, and then either use his teleport to get into a fight or just walk into a fight around Dragon.
Yeah, and this means that it's most likely going to be Boych Wonder answering on that bot side. He does walk down there, but we've already seen the 2v2 being lost from the side of Chicken Chasers. The support
combat.
I love the ward battles. Your 2 supports like, no, I'm going to get your ward first. I'm going to get yours. Gavin taking a lot of damage from Kakarino, and again, they just can't handle this lane. They've already lost so much. What can Chicken Chasers even do to come back from this? As Gavin getting dove by Kakarino, the bubble lands, but not quite in time. Exhaust also wasted. The Mega Death Rocket again goes wide. And then engage from Zyx onto Nerf Akali, please, flashing over the wall. Can't get the damage, but there's the orb! Transferred from the Oriana through the Graves, getting the kill, and actually well played there from Chicken Chase.
Yeah, Chicken Chasers does have really one option for the rest of this game, which has kind of been their same option as at the start of it.
We'll get back to that in a moment, though, as Boych Wonder might be getting caught out here. Gavin 97 again, forced to flash away from Kakarino. Chicken Chasers just can't catch their breath. Boych Wonder is able to get away. Coling comes out. Gavin, you're so low. Can they even get any more damage? Teleport coming in from Snowcane. Actually, from the Nerf Akali, please. Victor completes the teleport. Ah, gotta love double TP cops.
The mix-up. You never know who's coming.
But this is another turret falling.
Yep, that's the first turret going down. Or, sorry, the second turret going down. Coming off of the first turret, sorry. Which, and you can see in these trades, oh my goodness.
Flash forward from Kakarino aggressively. Zayix! He walked back into the choppers.
Oh my, don't try this at home, folks.
Out of there.
Flash forward with chompers is one of those things that just should never work. But
Boych Wonder missing the Q onto the wall, pops out that ultimate, but he's going to be going down. Snowcane diving under turret, but Cripple gets the kill. Ram Ranch is playing with their food. They have this so controlled right now. Third turret going down. They're getting kills across the map.
It's funny that you say controlled, because it looks to me like they're just, you know, this incredibly brazen aggression, but it's working out for them. So they must know the limits. They know what they can, how far they can push this lead.
Or more, just they're confident enough to make the plays, and that's what I love to see. I like it when teams give me something to talk about, give me some excitement, give me a 7K gold lead at 13 minutes into the game.
Non-stop action. It's just, and all across the map. I'll be talking about something in bot lane, and suddenly there's a fight going on in the mid lane.
Can't keep up, man.
Can't keep up. What I was going to say earlier regarding win conditions, there is a chance here still for Chicken Chasers. It's just that it's entirely revolves around whether or not they can kill Jinx before she has a chance to do much damage, and that's going to be very difficult given both her auto attack range and the double shield composition that Ram Ranch picked for themselves.
It's going to have to be something like boosted 420 landing a clutch shockwave. Other than that, I just don't see them being able to get the damage onto Kakarino. Again, as you said, with all those shields coming in, redemption completed on Cripple, and actually slightly curious to see what Kyle is going to choose to build. He has the first item, the Forbidden Idol, which would usually be built into that redemption, as well as the Rejuvenating Beads, which signals a second redemption. Typically, it's not the best move to make.
I would have liked to see an Ardent Sensor here, since you have the Hyper Carry with you. Jinx gets
Ooh, aggressiveness onto Kyle, exhaust onto Gavin, though. They tried to catch one member out, but there's two more to back him up. Kakarino picking up that kill. Teleport coming in from Snowcane. They're able to Blast Cone over the wall, but the Super Mega Death Rocket picks up a double kill for Kakarino. Boych Wonder trying to get away as boosted. Popping Ghost to get away under his own turret. Boych Wonder, can you survive Daisy, Cripple, Jinx, and the Karma is able to safely walk away under his turret, but Kakarino is making a statement right now.
They just keep finding these incredible fights. They've gotten grouped up to try to secure vision around Chicken Chaser's jungle, and oftentimes these ward battles are turning into full-on engagements, which is exactly what Ram Ranch wants to be doing right now.
And they're going to pick up the first dragon of the game, actually kind of late for this dragon to be picked up. There's no wards that would see where Zayix is if he decides to stick around right outside that pit, but he is spotted walking past. They're just going to give it up because there's just no chance of them getting vision onto this dragon. Maybe a Graves ult. It's never going to work that well. Gavin 97 again just cannot handle this one. It doesn't even have
a little too far forward for
the Bork. Yeah, Zayix jumping onto him. There's the ult. There's the culling coming down, but the flash from Ivern with the shields keeps Kakarino alive. They might just turn it around, trying to jump out of Gavin 97. Flez auto-attacking with a Nami. Just not going to do enough. Oh, Cripple picking up another one. Flez flashing the empowered Q from Karma, but Kyle does not want to say goodbye. Boosted 420. You took the wrong way around to the turret. You're going down to Snowcane as well. Every member from Ram Ranch has a kill, and they all are just competing for them right now. They got blood in their eye.
My goodness, good guy Cripple there, flashing to get the shield onto Kakarino to block the last auto attack. Does my heart good to see that.
It's a great support jungler, man. Keep the 80 carry alive. Don't let Jinx die.
Ivern is really just such a powerful champion. You can see what he could do. He's a little bit like Nunu back in the day, except his kit is a lot more directly protective of his allies. So you can see the priority placed on it for him here, working out really well for Ram Ranch.
Yeah, and this is just going from bad to worse for Chicken Chasers. 10K gold deficit at only 17 minutes into the game. Boych Wonder is supposed to be the tank, but he has no MR. He can't deal with this Victor Karma.
We can see Ninja Tabi coming in from Boych Wonder and Zayix. Ninja Tabi generally being the response to an AD carry that's gotten this far ahead, but unfortunately with the Runon's Hurricane done as well, she's got 2 items completed versus Boich Wonder, who's supposed to be taking all her damage, who's got no items completed.
And you just can't... honestly, I just don't see a situation where Chicken Chasers can come back from this. Typically, the answer is, okay, well, just try to farm it out. If you have the better scaling comp, that's how you win the game, but don't. I mean, they're played into a Victor and a Jinx. The Jinx is so fed right now. Victor isn't too far ahead, but still having a sizable gold advantage over his lane opponent. There's just really no bright spots now for Chicken Chasers, unfortunately.
They have to watch for... They just have to wait for Cucurino to make a mistake.
Oh, there's the shockwave on the Cucurino and on a cripple, answered by the Graves ultimate, but here's Snowcane onto the backline. Double kill to the support. They pick up a third. That is 3 members down for the side of Chicken Chasers. In a blink of an eye, they burn the ultimate. Try to catch out 2 members of Ram Ranch. Don't even pick up a single kill. There's just nothing they can do to defend this turret now.
Something definitely worth mentioning is that the protective options that have come in for...
Ooh, which one getting caught out by the snare? There's so much ATC! You can't even move!
Goodness. That's pretty brutal. This composition just came online like 10 minutes earlier than it's really supposed to, and you can see that there's just not much you can do about it.
And this is exactly what we expected to see. I mean, they had the 2 defensive supportive champions. They needed hyper carry. Cucurino finally goes down, though. Gavin is exhausted. Pops a heal with the Nami heals. Does survive, and he actually finally picks up first kill of the game onto the member who has not died yet. Now they just got to get crippled. Oh, and Kyle. Okay.
And Kyle.
They got a long road ahead.
Yeah, you got to hope none of them took Bounty Hunter, because they're going to be sitting on, at most, 3% damage amp from that ability. Actually, less than that now.
Yep, and the one who would have the most being Xyx, who would only having 2 kills. But they have killed 3 different members. Every time I see a game that is this far apart, this early, you just got to change your goals. It's no longer win the game. It's just you got to set little goals for you to reach, because otherwise it just seems impossible. So right now their goal is kill Cripple and kill Kyle. If they can do that, then the game was a success. They don't even have to win. They just go into game 2 refreshed and, all right, at least we got them all once. Now what are we going to do for game 2?
Interesting choice on Cucurino to go for the Static Shiv over the Rapid Fire Cannon, which is the more traditional Zeal item choice, specifically in the Energized slot. I have to wonder, it certainly wouldn't be for Wave Clear. Jinx's Wave Clear is pretty good on its own, so it must just be for the extra burst damage that the Critical Strike on Static Shiv can give you.
Well, when you have a composition like the Ivern, you're going to be able to get in range of them anyway. It's not necessarily going to be an issue that you're too far away to get that damage in. They also have the Karma speed ups, but this might be another engage. Here's Ivern coming in, jumping on a Flez. Can he get the damage? Daisy coming in. They get it, but it's Cucurino that picks that up. Flez or Cripple might be going down finally, but no, Nerfacali please coming in on the backside. While Boich Wonder can do nothing against this Cucurino. Boosted 420, can't even keep him alive. It is the only member left from Chicken Chasers. And Snowcane was just pushing bot that whole time. He didn't even have to join the fight.
Yeah, my goodness. You can see that. I mean, Akali's Nerfacali please picked up some gold for himself here and there. Still manages to be impactful in this this very late team fight. Well, I say late, it's 20 minutes and 30 seconds.
Oh, Kyle! Flashing that 7 mastery. You don't want to lose your Cripple as they're both tied right now. Snowcane wants to make it worse for boosted 420 though. Taking a lot of turret shots, taking a lot of damage. Shut down gold goes to Xyx, but will it mean anything? They can't defend these turrets. Xyx goes down to Nerfacali, please. Flez and Gavin with boosted in tow. They're trying to get back to their fountain. Can they even make it? Cucurino might be getting caught out now. The hook brings him back in, but the double shield comp, they just can't even kill him. They're just toying with him. Don't even attack him, just go for the Nexus. They have no Nexus turrets. 2 inhibs down. Ram Ranch looking to make the game go a little later than we wanted to. They gotta pat the stats.
Tell Ram Ranch that S ranks you get in custom games don't count for crafting. No reason to pad the stats.
And GG, Ram Ranch winning 21.5 minutes in with the late scaling composition.
Just dominant. Absolutely.
That was
dominant.
A little ridiculous. I'm just gonna say that right now.
Yeah, Cucurino just carved this advantage out for himself out of nothing in a lane where he really should have a disadvantage. So I know it's gonna be a hard decision, but who do you think gets player of the game? For this
Oh
one?
my god, it's clearly Snowcane, right? I mean, the split push pressure. He kept. No, I'm giving it to Kakarino. Winning the losing matchup is always impressive, but doing it in such a fashion, 9-1 and 10, he was getting so aggressive onto Gavin 97 that you got to think this was a grudge match. I mean, you just don't see that kind of brutality.
Oh my god!
Unless there's a personal vendetta going on here behind the scenes.
Got to give Kyle a shout out for enabling that early lane phase. Karma, good matchup into the Nami, played the early trades well. So shout out to him. Certainly don't want to let the AD carry take all the credit, right?
Oh, absolutely not. The real question that is going to be who is the better support, being Cripple or Kyle? Both 3-0-13, both with very good defensive builds. Karma did build the Ardent Sensor as you were expecting her to build. We were both hoping to see that as opposed to Second Redemption. And I'm looking at the damage charts right now. Guess who's in the lead?
Let me think about that one for a second. Get back to. Oh my goodness! All right, I knew it was going to be lopsided. I didn't expect it to be that lopsided.
That is a little ridiculous. The real stat I wanted to see though was healing done. It was Ivern, but I guess that's unfair. Karma doesn't have healing, and we don't have a shielding stat yet. But we both agree Kakarino getting player of the game. Congrats to all the other players though. Here we're gonna take a very short break and hop into this next game because, as I forgot to mention before, this is a best of 5 series. So Chicken Chasers have more than enough opportunities to come back and try to win a couple more games here. Maybe we're looking to see a reverse sweep. Maybe they're just going to win the next 3. You never know, but we will find out. Stick around. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back. right, hello and welcome everybody. We're back for game 2 of our third place qualifier between UMD Chicken Chasers and UMD Ram Ranch. Ram Ranch just had a dominating win against Chicken Chasers in the game 1, ending at 21.5 minutes. So it's a very quick ending for us. Makes it even easier for us to hop into this next game a little earlier. Ram Ranch now on the blue side, Chicken Chasers on the red side. Wexler, tell me what happened that last game.
Well, Jinx. Jinx happened. Specifically a Jinx that manages to get ahead out of lane phase. Definitely best of fives let you do something about this kind of thing. I would be anticipating the ban strategy, the pick ban strategy to change pretty dramatically from Chicken Chasers this game. I think rather than specifically targeting Kakarino, though, probably they want to go after what was enabling him so hard that game, which is the double shields coming out from Ivern and Karma.
That composition, we didn't expect it to pop off that early, but we thought that once it got into a late enough stage of the game, it would just be impossible to kill the Jinx, to kill that the Victor, the damage dealers, because of that double shield comp. But that shield comp was even more scary on an early game Jinx, somebody that was able to get so far ahead of the lane opponent. So absolutely, I think that maybe it's not even necessarily the 80 carry bans, it's the things that are around the 80 carry that need to be taken away. I mean, they banned out the Lulu, but they left Karma on the table. They left Ivern on the table. And now they just can't do that.
Well, you can see, as we're getting into these bans here, Chicken Chaser's first ban off the table is Ivern, immediately followed by Lulu.
So it does make sense. They're learning. They're learning from it, but the same bans coming in from Ram Ranch against Chicken Chasers, they're very confident that they had the better pick and ban last time. They don't even need to change anything up because nothing that the Chicken Chasers had really scared them away.
Yeah, if it's not broke, don't fix it. Nothing the Chicken Chasers were fielding that game was really any impediment to their win condition at all, so there's no reason to try to ban any of it.
Question is, do Chicken Chasers take away the Karma now? But no, it's the Varus.
Very early bans. They banned the Varus a lot later in the last time around. I guess they want to make sure that Ram Ranch doesn't first pick the 80 carry, because they're expecting, as you would after that last game, a lot of priority for the rest of the series to be based on Kakarino. So we'll see if they end up, and they're just going to take the Caitlyn, so they're still getting Kakarino onto a comfort pick.
And that's exactly the champion that was banned in the first round against Ram Ranch last time. So it's up this time. Pick it up. I like the choice. I like what Kakarino was able to do on the champ, and what I even like more is Chicken Chasers taking away Karma. It was so hard for them to deal with that now maybe it's up to Ram Ranch to take something like the Nami that can give a little more sustained in lane, give that peel pressure, but it's going to be a little harder to play protect the carry comp now.
I think so. I think this is the right strategy from Chicken Chasers. Look for these denial picks around Kakarino instead of trying to directly deny him from something. Also picking up the Rek'Sai for Zayax, which is a comfort pick for him, makes a lot of sense given that in the last game we saw Ram Ranch ban out the rest of his jungle pool basically once they got into the last ban phase.
And we saw he played on the Graves. It wasn't too bad, but it definitely didn't impact the game in the way that they needed it to. So we'll see if the Rek'Sai is able to do anything more. A little more initiation with the CC, the Unburrow. His ganks can be a little stronger if he's going into a lane that doesn't have CC but does have damage. And we see the Nami locked in for the side of Ram Ranch. That's pretty predictable. Honestly, when it comes to supports, you're either playing Lulu, Karma, or Nami. You don't really stray much from that unless two of those are taken off the table from you, or all three. Curious what's picked up next, though. It's J4 locked in. Most likely jungle. We don't see him top lane that often. And other than high in LCS, most likely not going to be played in mid. I don't think we have that level of cheese coming out here.
Oh, if only. It's not cheese, more of experimentation.
True.
Although Ram Ranch is not really in a position where they need to experiment, considering J4 hard engaged champion. I think you're right, it's in the jungle. I wouldn't be terribly surprised to see a top lane either. Oh, and the Ezreal coming out. We talked about the Ezreal last series. Now we're going to see if they have what it takes on the side of Chicken Chasers to enable the pick.
I love this. You're not going to be able to win the Lucian into Caitlyn when she has Nami. I mean, we've seen that Lucian can struggle into Caitlyn overall with farm because you get poked out. Really, the only way to win that lane is if you can all-in her and kind of get an advantage that way. But with the Nami sustain, there's just no way that's happening. But something like Ezreal can almost match the poke coming in from Caitlyn. and is also a very defensive pick. And it's also something that Gavin has popped off on in the past. I really like it overall as a pick. I think it's a really smart pickup.
Yeah, Ezreal's almost impossible to force out of lane on just about anyone. We see the Ahri ban coming out from Chicken Chasers, and the Victor ban in response. So mid lane bans coming out, boom, 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 right in a row here. The Syndra gets banned away as well. Both mid laners kind of jostling for control of this pick ban phase, I think, trying to decide what they're going to get the matchup for themselves that they want.
Orianna is still on the table, so maybe that's not banned away from Chicken Chasers, as it is now a top lane. So Ram Ranch, they banned out 2 top laners and 3 mid laners. A lot of respect given to the solo lanes, but honestly, because of that, the champion pool from Chicken Chasers is just low for those positions, because they, after the first ban phase, they had a top laner and 2 mid laners missing, but they decided to not pick any of those, trying to get maybe a counter pick, but they're going to have to blind pick top. It's going to be the Fiora.
I'm curious about the Orianna pick here. I would have expected Boosted to pick that up. He looked quite comfortable on it in the last game. Managed to get a couple of good ultimates off. It was just that, they were well beyond the point where a good Orianna could really swing the outcome of the game. But instead they opt for the Fiora, which is a much stronger direct split push threat. And the Fizz in response, which I think is probably also top lane.
It would most likely be. I would not expect to see a double flex pick of mid laners and top laners. Oh, but it might be a mid lane Fizz.
Huh.
Renekton being hovered.
I will say...
Fizz is an interesting pick, blind into the mid lane.
Definitely a confident pick. I wonder if they're just kind of daring the Orianna out of Chicken Chasers here, and they go for the Ryze instead. Ryze is much more wave clear, but probably still... And he has the point-and-click snare to deal with Fizz's mobility as well. I think they were just kind of trying to bait Boosted into taking the Orianna there, because Fizz into Orianna is not a great matchup for Orianna, if I understand correctly. So, I think this makes sense. The Renekton coming back on the side of Ram Ranch. Renekton to Fiora is it's a very fun matchup because it's based entirely around head gaming your opponent into using either Fiora's W, which I can't pronounce correctly, but Riposte, and Renekton's W, which is the stun.
I believe it's Riposte. I don't know. Is it a French pronunciation? I'm sure somebody in the Twitch chat could tell us.
But I don't speak a lick of French, so whatever. We'll call it Riposta, and everyone can make fun of me.
Riposta. Now you're just making me hungry.
Fiora W. Renekton's going to be looking to, kind of bait out the Riposte from Fiora. Well, at the same time, Fiora needs to predict the Renekton W, which has a very subtle animation to it. It's a very head gamey, very in-your-face kind of matchup. That'll be a fun one to watch.
And it's definitely one that comes down to individual player skill.
Yes.
And that's something that I like to see when it's not the Nautilus versus the Maokai, where it's like, okay, well, nothing's going to happen.
That's a very high-skill matchup.
Get out of here.
Who could be the tankier tank?
Okay, there's an argument for it, but I'm just too triggered off of that, so I'm not even going to justify thinking about that. But also something like the Renekton into the Nautilus, where it's pretty clear that the Renekton will be able to bully the Nautilus out of lane. It's really just, can he get enough ahead so that Nautilus's tanky stats don't matter as much? Because Nautilus will get tanky no matter what, but we did see last game he got shut down, so I at least like the change coming in here from Chicken Chasers. They said, look, Nautilus didn't work for us last time. Maybe put Boych Wonder on a carry and put Xyx on the tank. And see if that can change the dynamic.
That's a much better safety valve, because the best way to deal with a composition that wants to fight you the way a hyper carry composition does is hyper carry compositions are always going to look for the 5v5 team fights where they have every bit of the moving parts that protect their AD carry alive. The best way to deal with that is just to say, well, we're just never going to fight you, and opt for a split push and disengage strategy again, and instead. And that looks to be what Chicken Chasers has built here. Exhaust and Ignite coming out from Fiora. So she has one goal here, and it is killing Renekton.
No split push pressure, which is actually, I think, maybe a bit of a mistake coming in from the Fiora. I mean, yes, the Ignite will definitely help you get an advantage in lane, but what are you going to do with that advantage? If you're playing Fiora... Okay, it is changed to TP.
It was Flash and Teleport. Now, see, I actually wouldn't have minded Ignite so much. You could play around not having a teleport. Granted, you have to, especially given Rise and Rek'Sai, you can kind of play around the double teleport composition by having heads-up rotations out of your Fiora, or possibly giving her a little help from the Rise Realm Warp, and then Rek'Sai can also get to the fight. So I think they had the opportunity to take Ignite, but it's certainly riskier, and it's kind of higher execution. And not to mention, there are some things that Teleport simply lets you do, like home guard flanking, that Ignite doesn't let you do. So, reasonable decision either way. I'm not surprised to see the Teleport being the last decision, though. Kind of teasing us with that Ignite exhaust.
True. The bigger thing in that Fizz has taken teleport, so the double teleport pressure from the side of Ram Ranch. We just saw that last game. They had the Victor with a Renekton, both with teleport. They really like this play. It's something that they were able to play around incredibly well last game, but do you think it's going to translate the same way with the Fizz?
It kind of depends on what build he goes. You would expect a mid lane Fizz to go much more into AP rather than the off-tank bruiser Fizz that you usually see in top lane. But that kind of Fizz can still split push perfectly well, in particular if he's left in bot lane alone with Ezreal for really any length of time. All he has to do is land one fish and Ezreal is dead. And also against the Fiora as well. She has options to deal with the damage from Chum the Waters, but could still end up it can still be hard for her to lock down the Fizz, to catch up to the Fizz. So they've got two really good side lane pressure options here, which they can both bring into the fight to help with the Caitlyn.
And as well, just the playful trickster ability to dodge so much of the damage coming out from the enemy team. But the thing is, he's not playing it into the Orianna, which I think maybe they were expecting. When you blind pick the Fizz, though, I really do like the Rise matchup into that, because as you said before, there's that point-and-click snare. You don't really have to be afraid of the all-in from the Fizz, because if he does land the Chum the Waters, yep, you just lock him up and walk away. But even if Fizz can land onto Rise, he has the exhaust, so he will be very safe in lane. Question being, he's not able to double exhaust. So once exhaust is down, can he play safe enough, understanding that Cripple might be able to come in with that insane initiation? We saw Boosie getting a little caught out last time. He had the Ghost and Flash, but when they were both on cooldown, pushed up in lane, gave up a free kill. So hopefully he learns from this on the Rise this time.
They definitely want to keep this Rise in position where the Rise can be proactive. One thing that Rise allows you to do, which is very good against a team that seems to at least be playing around their AD carry heavily, is that if Kakarino tries to be at his tower farming, you can bring a whole party in behind him and dive that tower really easily. So that's a good way to shut down an AD carry focused strategy. You can just keep it so that the AD carry is never allowed to be farming a side lane by themselves to scale.
It's very true, but the thing is, that only works if the enemy AD carry is farming that side lane. But if the side of Chicken Chase is able to pull ahead this time, maybe get that Ezreal and Karma to get the first turret as opposed to the Caitlyn Nami, then it's going to be a very different story here. We're assuming that we're going to see a repeat of what happened last game, where Ram Ranch just dominated that bottom side. But this time they're on two very different champs, and they're against what I would consider a safer lane in the Ezreal Karma.
That's true too. Granted, Rise is still fully capable of bringing the party to Caitlyn basically at any game time, which is, I think, something we'll probably expect them trying to do with the Rise pick. But certainly, that could play into that lane matchup as well, if they just use all this global pressure they have coming in and the semi-global from Rise to keep Kakarino away from the wave as much as possible. They might be how they adapt to in this game too, to what happened in the previous game.
Kyle flashing that level 7 Nami. And this time we're seeing a grouping of both teams on the bottom side. Come on, do something fun here. Ram Ranch, go forward. Just nudge in. I always say if you're playing Nami and you don't flash bubble level 1, then I just don't even know why you picked the champion. I mean, come on. If you're here to flash your mastery, you gotta do something cool.
You gotta flash mastery too. Nami certainly has nothing else in her kit to make you want to pick her. It's only the flash bubble.
Oh, I mean, we saw that Chicken Chasers lost the last game. I think it's because they didn't land a flash bubble level 1. Because that's a huge signifier that the game's just already going not in your favor.
Well, looks like we're not going to see the flash bubble, so we'll see if your theory is correct here.
All right, well, I gotta say, Chicken Chase is going to win, and we haven't actually gotten to that part yet. Wexler, 'Flair, in your opinion, which team had the better team composition? Who won pick and ban phase?
Well, I think it was Nami. Nami certainly has nothing else in her kit to make you want to pick her. It's only the flash bubble.
Oh, I mean, if nothing else
I think I have to give this one over to Chicken Chasers, or sorry, it's a Ram Ranch this time. It just looks like they got everything they wanted in the draft phase. Getting Cuck Rhino onto this very comfortable champion with a strong lane, strong initiation, and with the initiation potential from J4 combined with teleport flanks from Fizz, combined with the possibility of a 1-3-1, it just seems like they have everything they could have wanted out of the draft.
I'm actually gonna I gave Chicken Chasers this last time and they lost, so maybe they don't even want my my approval, but I'm gonna give it to Chicken Chasers here. I think that they don't have that double teleport comp, but they have the Rek'Sai, who kind of has a teleport in his kit with his ultimate, as well as having Gavin be on a champion that I believe he's a little more comfortable on with the Karma support, which in my opinion is better than the Nami. So I think this bot lane is going to go more in the favor of Chicken Chasers this time, even though it should have last time also. But I think that they just had a better composition as well as opposed to last.
You can see there's a lot of poke coming down already. They get the level 2, which is generally in bot lane as a signal to go ham. You got the level advantage, but Ezreal gets to opt out of that with his range. So you can see that lane matchup we were talking about already working out.
And Karma just being able to put so much poke onto the Nami. Actually, going to the words of favor of the Chicken Chasers. Nevercalli, please getting aggressive onto Boosted because Cripple is coming on the backside, but First Blood goes into Boosted! Able to play the minion wave so well. I mean, Nevercalli, please, were taking so much damage from all those little red minions. Just maybe going in a little too early.
Pulls the trigger on the gank just a little bit too early. However, I think this works out in their favor. I think he's fine with taking this trade because he has the teleport. This lets him get into the lane faster to collect the farm, whereas Boosted has to walk back.
Very true, but Boosted is coming back now with that tier, which is the biggest issue when you're playing the Rise. Very early in the game, that level 1, how do you control your mana expenditure? But he was able to pick up First Blood, is able to come back with that mana tier, so that shouldn't be an issue anymore. We had a small pause here.
No, and apparently it's a mystery.
Okay. Well, Nami said there's a disconnect, so I would assume a member of Ram Ranch, maybe it was Nevercalli, please. He was like, no, guys, like I swear, I didn't just lose that 1v1 as Boych Wander gets a little aggressive onto Snowcane. Snowcane flashes forward, gets the kill solo against his lane opponent. Some more aggression bot side, but nothing going to come of that.
You can see how close that Renekton Fiora matchup is. The Fiora chooses to repasta at a slightly different moment there, getting the stun from Ruthless Onslaught.
Can we
that completely changes the how that 1v1 goes.
We just call it spaghetti or something, just like
spaghetti.
Is that okay? Is that why her pool party skin? She's holding a noodle, because that would actually make a lot of sense now.
That's an excellent question. I wonder if somebody working on the champion has the same.
Nevercalli, please getting aggressive on a boost 420 flash from Zyx, but there's a playful trickster. He can't even get the unburrow. Really well played from Nevercalli, please, and maybe a little bit of lack of communication from Boosted. They should have been able to play around that, but now Zyx might be getting caught out. There's Nevercalli, please, and Cripple jumping onto him, but he can limp away with just a sliver of a health bar.
Really trading blows all over this mid lane. Just the jungler is spending a lot of time around here. You can definitely tell they're thinking this is a matchup they want to keep under control. They want to keep Nevercalli, please. Keep his Fizz from popping off here. I wonder if that's from experience, from something they've seen in scrims.
Could very well be. The question is, when will it stop? Cripple again going on to Boosted. He goes down! That's, I believe, what, the 5th gank mid lane that we've seen? And we're not even 5 minutes into the game.
One per minute, keeping us occupied here.
Keep it going. Keep it going. Come on. I want to see more. I want to see more aggression, more kills. Because the more kills that happen, the more fun it is for the rest of us watching along on the sidelines. Here we see Zyx roaming towards the bottom side. He's going to unburrow or take the tunnel. It does go through. Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Okay.
He doesn't take it.
I'm not totally sure what happened there. I didn't know Rek'Sai could do this.
Yeah, I'm actually very confused as well. Either way, he did not have flash, so not sure if he would have been able to get the unburrow. All summoners were up from Cuck Rhino and Kyle, but it means that he is showing bot side. Cripple is able to know he's not around the top side jungle. More importantly, Snowcane can get aggressive now because he sees Zyx on the bot side, so he can just push Fiora under her turret, make her lose some of that farm, because she is ahead in farm, but behind in gold because of that solo kill.
Farm numbers across the board look, well, there's a slight advantage in the mid lane, which you'd expect from the two ganks coming in, two successful ganks coming in there, as well as the teleport. Bot lane is roughly even, which I think is the payoff from that Ezreal pick you were talking about. Lets him farm really safely. And then in top lane, like you said, Fiora, slight edge in CS, but down in gold overall because of the solo kill.
And this jungle, I mean, it's looking good for Zyx in terms of farm, but I'll get back to that in a moment. Boosted 420, getting aggressive on a Snowcane, but Snowcane wants to turn it back around. The pasta means that he doesn't die. Boosted getting the kill, and a beautiful roam topside, not even level 6. Walks up there.
Yeah, just gets that. That's really heads up from...
But he's getting caught up by Nerfakali. Please, here, Cripple coming in as backup! Chum the waters, fishy, fishy. Get up a kill for Nerfakali, please, now.
And heads up right back from the other side of from the side of Ram Ranch to say, well, he's got to walk back now. Maybe we can catch him on the way. We definitely see that. Oh, go ahead.
Oh, I was just gonna say, really well played there from the side of Ram Ranch, making positive a situation that had just gone negative, but really proactive, deciding to roam right at that moment.
I think, yeah, they're definitely thinking, you know, if Booster 420 doesn't have teleport, doesn't have his ult yet, he has to walk back into lane. So they just go to the most likely position, and Fizz, this long-range ultimate, is very good at finding those kinds of picks. They just make it happen.
And the difficulty here, Zyx is so far ahead in farm from his jungle opponent, but he's still 3,000 or 300. Sorry, not 3,000. 300 gold behind. That's a pair of boots right there. That's completed Caulfields for the side of Cripple, and just having that lane pressure that Cripple is providing is really helping out the team. Zyx, is able to smite his own blue buff, picking it up, but now he's got to deal with 2 members of the enemy team. Nerfakali and Cripple have been hip and hip this entire game. Boost is trying to get in there to get some more damage. There's the exhaust flashing away. Heal coming in from Gavin, might just barely give him life. Karma shields. There's the damage return. Cripple goes down, but it's a trade. They are able to get up boosted. Snowcane getting a solo kill on that top side. There's the fishy onto Gavin. Now Kokorino's finally joining the party. It's a 3v2. Can they get under their turret? Chicken Chasers, this is not going well for you as Flez finally falls. They're not even done. They're going down on Gavin. He's so low, has flash available.
Here comes
Ram
Zyx,
Ranch
though.
just can't quite deal with this. Flash on Burrow is available. He might not even need to flash. Is able to get the damage onto Kyle. Gavin 97 flashes forward to get the kill, but now you're in danger of dying to the Fizz.
Oh my God.
Over the wall.
What?
Nerfakali, please, you gave him a double.
Oh, just barely. If he'd hit that True Shot barrage, he might have been able to go in again.
Oh.
Non-stop. It does not stop with these teams.
And Boych Wonder wants to make it a trade. He just died solo to top lane to Snowcane, but Snowcane might be able to juke around the turret. He does not. Gavin 97 almost dies to turret in the meantime. But a nice flash heal from Kokorino keeps him alive just long enough.
Barely short on that last Mystic shot. What a series of events.
Cripple, what are you doing? Getting caught up by Zyx. Teleport coming down from Snowcane or Nerfakali. It's the Nerfakali, please. The Fizz might even be more scary. Being 1, 2, and 5. All those assists. It feels bad when you're an assassin mid laner. Like, give me this, guys.
Cripple has gotten quite a bit of the spikes on these kills here.
Nerfakali, please, is looking to make a play here bot side, but unfortunately the teleport really didn't do much for him. As he's not able to capitalize on it. He's just gonna maybe back. I'd like to see him just walk back into lane. He's spending a lot of time on this bottom side, and he's just not getting anything for it. Oh, there's the tidal wave. Gavin runs into Nerfakali. Please, just as I was saying, back up. He stays and gets a kill for his team. Kyle picking it up, scumbag support, but it's gonna be another one available. Nerfakali, please. You were patient. And it paid off. 2 kills going to the side of Ram Ranch, netting them a 1,000 gold lead, and there is a second pause in the game. It looks as if Zyx has disconnected, I think.
Yeah, that's what I'm seeing here. Well, I'm glad. Honestly,
give me time to catch my breath.
Yeah, you're never usually glad to see a pause, but it's nice to have a second to back up and say, what the heck just happened? who won? Who won that whole series? It's hard to say. I mean, the kill numbers are going now on to the side of Ram Ranch, but Gavin picking up 3 kills there is good news for the side of Chicken Chasers.
Really good considering how the last game went for this. Ezreal with 3 kills is going to be a lot better than a Lucian with 1, which is actually 0 during laning phase. and into that Jinx. So this is definitely going towards the side of Chicken Chasers, this time in the bot side. The question is, around the map, can they keep it up? We've seen Snowcane get solo kills onto Boych Wonder. Now Cripple and Nerfcalli, please. One more time, roaming onto boosted 420. Will the Realm Orb get him out? It does. Really well played there. That's a difficulty when trying to gank the Rise. Pops that ulti, gets out.
You can see he anticipates the crowd control coming out. Good discipline from Cripple. Good trigger discipline. Doesn't pull the Cataclysm out on him. Because knowing that that's not actually going to stop the Realm Orb.
It keeps them in when they're trying to walk away.
Exactly.
Not a teleport. Nerfcalli, please, is getting blue buff. I believe that's the first blue buff gift that we've seen so far. I might be mistaken, though. I do miss many things when I try to commentate, as now there's a gank happening topside. Snowcane pops the ultimate, but can he get away from the Rek'Sai, from the Fiora? So much damage coming in, but the heal. Cripple is able to drop the Cataclysm onto Fiora as Fizz roams top. Can she get away? She's not going to make it. The riposte does not save her life. Xyx, he should have just run. He tried to stay and just defend the Fiora a little longer. I think he could have gotten out, and he does die for it. Cripple, so little mana, so little health, survives, and this might finally be on the top side now.
It's a really good counter gank. You can see that Snowcane, just no fear, pops the ulti and just goes in and says, let's tussle, because he knows his team is coming in behind him to back him up.
Bot turret falls first.
Go figure. That is the disadvantage of the Ezreal.
It was a race between the same team. Who gets bot turret? Who gets first, or bot or top?
I'm sure they're happy to see that going on to Kakarino still.
True. True, as he was slightly falling behind his lane opponent, but now 600 gold ahead. There's Chum the Waters onto boosted. Exhaust does save his life, but that's always a good trade when you're the Fizz. I mean, they blew a summoner spell for your ultimate. You're going to have that up a little sooner. Kakarino says, no, please. Xyx, you get out of my lane.
Something interesting to comment about, the Nerfcalli please is opting for the Proto Belt first on Fizz. Now that's not completely unheard of, but it's definitely a very a high mechanics, high risk, and flashy first item build, I'd say.
One of the most fun items to watch, though. I mean, maybe a Redemption Baron Steel is a little more exciting for support players that have pulled that off. Feels amazing. I think I've done that once in my life. But yeah, I definitely like the Proto Belt aggression from this Caitlyn. Surprising that she's able to win this 1v1. Pretty low on mana, though. Here's Kyle. Tidal Wave comes out. Might have been a little early, though. Gap's able to walk away.
Chicken Chasers are converging. It looks like they're going to want to try to use the Rise ult to get behind this bot lane while they're pushed up away from their tower. But I think Ram Ranch smells it, and they're backing off.
Definitely good play here. They're so far forward, and just for no reason. There's no wave that they're going to pick up, no minions that they can farm. Back off. Maybe go mid. We saw a really good rotation from them. They got first turret and then went top lane last game. Well, there is no top turret to get, but you can send them mid. You can send Nerfcalli, please, to that bot lane. Go for that 1-3-1 pressure that we were talking about that they have with the double teleport.
Yeah, definitely. The double teleport, this is around the game time when you want to start using that. Fizz has completed his first item. It's an item that gives him a fair amount of both dueling and escape potential, as well as the Sheen, which is going to let him take towers more quickly. And Renekton is definitely able to bully Fiora right now, and that's not going to last forever. Fiora, once she gets to her later items, is going to be able to duel just about anyone or anything in the game. You can see the
more aggression onto the mid lane. That's what I was talking about. No exhaust from boosted means he has to flash away, but an aggressive flash from Nerfcalli picks him a kill. You don't have exhaust. You can't take that 1v1 anymore. And Nerfcalli, please, understands that and picks up a very, very clean kill.
He's definitely getting these very long range Chum the Waters. Fizz kind of lives or dies by whether or not he's landing Chum the Waters reliably, and Nerfcalli please definitely making it happen.
But again, where are the rotations? You don't need Kakarino and Kyle bot side. Yes, Nerfcalli please is winning the solo lane pretty aggressively, but turrets are more important than kills at this stage in the game. Caitlyn's so strong at sieging that I would like to see a little more proactive play, but honestly, it's still working out fairly well for them. Xyx might be getting caught out here. He's jumping onto Kaya, but Cripple and Nerfcalli, please, are on the back side. Unfortunately, Gavin97 is the one getting engaged upon. Don't go for him. Go for the Rek'Sai. Cripple jumping in. Heal comes out, and the Tidal Wave doesn't land onto any members. There's a kill for Gavin, and Chicken Chasers might actually be able to turn this one around. Realm Orb coming in. Can they get towards them? Actually get them away from Snowcane, who completes his teleport. It's a 5v4. but Ram Ranch is still ahead of the game right now. They have the gold advantage, so maybe they don't even need Cripple. He's a lot of engage, but outside of that, they're just going to back off. No dragons taken. This might be the time for Chicken Chasers to hop back in this game.
You can definitely see they don't want to be fighting in these choke points, particularly with the mobility rise, gives the entire team around to circle around, look for flanks, look for advantageous positioning. Like you said, they really want to just set up in a lane and use this Caitlyn to siege.
Well, honestly, I don't mind fighting in the jungle, doing these dirty fights. You have Nami with an amazing ultimate to use in the jungle. You have Fizz with Chum the Waters, an amazing ultimate to use in the jungle, but Fizz didn't have ultimate available. I'll get back to that. Kukurino getting engaged upon by this bot side. Gavin, the bubble lands. He's forced to flash the wall. Exhaust on the Snow King. Cripple has finally joined the fight again. It's so disjointed. Zyx is caught out, goes down to Kukurino. Boych Wonder stuck in the Cataclysm. He can't get out. Nerf Kali Please taking a lot of damage, but it's not traded. Double kill. Finally, Gavin can pick one up, but Cripple's getting one as well. Boosted's going to be going down. It's a 1 for 4, and Ram Ranch coming out huge there.
Gavin just barely limping away with a sliver of HP there. Looks like he's going to go back in, probably try to get the True Shot Barrage Dragonsteel. Is he going to get it? Oh, he gets it!
Oh!
2 HP on that smite from Cripple. That's got to feel bad.
Whoa! Really well played from Gavin97 there. Getting a clutch. I mean, that's what you want to do. Every time you throw that out, you're like, please, 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 please. And then when it works, you're like, oh, calculated. I knew it was going to happen.
Too easy, too easy.
Yep.
Knew it was happening.
Not as cool as a redemption. Still agree.
Is that something you'd want to see? Well, we got a redemption on the side of Nami, so
true.
We'll see one this game.
But Ram Ranch is already ahead. I want to see a redemption steal from the support. That's like they lose 5-0 clean ace, and then like their top laner just comes up, so the redemption steal takes it, and they get it onto one member. And they're like, ha, back in this.
That said, the Condrake is definitely if Chicken Chasers can stabilize here, the Condrake is definitely a Drake they would like because they want to play a rotational game. Using this Fiora in the side lane, and using Rek'Sai and Ryze's global ultimates, and movement speed from Cloud Drakes really helps you set that up. Helps you set up those rotation plays.
It also helps you match the Caitlyn. If she is able to get that Cloud Drake, she can rotate around and siege so much better. So taking that away from Caitlyn, I think, is really, really good tool beside of Chicken Chasers right now, because Caitlyn can utilize it so well when she's trying to put pressure in these lanes. Sometimes she's stuck in one lane. Oh, Kyle getting a little caught out, force a flash. But she'll be in one lane, she'll take a turret, and then run to the next. Taking that away from her kind of reduces that threat of her being able to pressure a lot of different lanes at the time. Chum the Waters. First time I think I've seen it not land.
I think you're right about that, yeah. Of course, you can't pick the fish up anymore, so... When you miss Chum the Waters, that's it.
Pick the fish up.
Yeah, if you walk over Chum the Waters now, you don't pick the fish up anymore.
Oh,
that's you still don't really want to do that.
I was imagining like a Syndra or something. I was like, I never knew you could pick up the fish. Like,
that would be quite the
That would be a little silly.
Yeah. Looks like we're just... You can see really good respect from Chicken Chasers here, keeping their distance from the really long-range engage that you can get out of Jarvan the Fourth.
But they're able to get
down your team.
They get that mid turret, which is honestly really good for them right now. They're behind in gold. They don't have the sieging composition that the side of Ram Ranch do, but they're able to pick up at least one objective. They got the Dragonsteel as well. These are the small things that will get them back into the game. They just need to figure out what to do with these advantages. I'd like to see some kind of initiation going on to the mid lane here. There's so much disengage from the Nami and from the Fizz, the threat of that Chum the Waters, but while Fizz didn't have Chum the Waters, I think they should have gone a little aggressive. They might have missed their opportunity now.
Yeah. That said, Chicken Chasers is also the team here that kind of wants to play the slower game since they've got the Fiora. Fiora is excellent late game insurance because she does get to a point where she's almost impossible to deal with in a 1v1. So maybe they're content to say, well, you know what, we're going to take the minor loss here and give our Fiora some time to farm. But now they've got her set up in more of a flanking position.
Very true. Can they get onto Snowcane? There's the CC. There's the heals, but it is not enough. Boych Wonder picking up that kill. Finally getting in, but Nerfakali Please is on the backline right where the Fizz wants to be. Oh! And the Jarvan ultimate locks in a couple members. Gavin goes down. Cripple able to cripple away with his life, but doesn't actually make it. Boosted picking up that kill, but has to flash away because Kukurino is doing so much damage on this Caitlyn, taking a couple turret shots. A little dicey.
Yeah, that fight started off looking so good for Chicken Chasers. They got a kill on Snowcane that looked like it was basically for free, as well as the heal proc across
Teleport coming in from Boych Wonder, trying to get onto this backside. This is going to be a flank. He has really good options here. He can jump onto the Fizz or onto the Caitlyn. They're both pretty low. Who's he going to go for? Jumping in onto Fizz, but he has no follow-up. Zyx finally jumping in, joining the party. There's the Unburrow onto Kukurino, but they pick up the kill onto the Fizz. Teleport coming in now from Snowcane. Can they get anything more boosted? You can't miss these skill shots. You got to land them, because now Snowcane might be able to jump on you. This is blinking health bars from the side of Chicken Chasers. All Snowcane needs to do is get the confidence, but he backs off.
Boych Wonder, I thought he was going to die there. I thought he was buddy off more than he could shoot for sure. But manages to find the kill with a little help from Zyx, so well played by him to find something off the back of that fight. What I was going to say about the last fight really comes down to the disengage from Nami. They just can't dive in far enough to deal with Caitlyn. And so Fiora says, okay, I need to jump back into my backline to help peel from this J4 engage, because I can't even hit this Caitlyn. And the fight ends up going poorly from there, because Caitlyn gets to auto-attack.
Yeah, with an Infinity Edge, Runans.
Oh yeah, that's going to sting.
That's not a champion that you want to just free auto-attack you from a distance, as well as dropping those traps, making it really hard to kind of jump onto your team. A good Caitlyn player will be able to not just auto-attack consistently, but drop traps in places that during the team fight people would get caught out, because then your auto-attacks just do that much more damage.
It's even an auto-reset, if I remember correctly. Your next... if you auto-attack somebody and they step into a trap, you get your next auto-attack free without having to wait for the auto-attack animation. So it's even more DPS uptime if you're getting those traps reliably.
Yeah, so a good Caitlyn player will be able to juggle those. The question is, what can a great Caitlyn player do? Because Kukurino had it banned out against him last game, and he's showing exactly why. 4-0-4. Not the highest kill participation, not the highest kills, but not a single death. He is just staying alive right now. Call the Bee Gees. We need to get a number one hit in here. Kyle might be getting caught out. Flez is not going to commit to the root though. They didn't have vision.
Yeah, you definitely don't want to go straight into that kind of fight, particularly with your Ryze too far away to get all the way there. Ryze can get in from a pretty long way with Realm Warp, but not across the lane like that.
True. True, and he is bot side right now, cleaning up that farm where Cripple and Kukurino, they don't know that there's a ward here. They're getting spotted out, but they're pressuring this dragon. They started, they have all 5 members here. Will Chicken Chasers answer? They've been doing all right in these fights in the past, but can they get onto the Caitlyn? That's a real question. They're just not even going to contest. That's Dragon going over to the side of Ram Ranch. Chum the Waters missed, but this is the ultimate from Nami coming in. So strong in the jungle. Zyx getting a little caught out as well. Boych Wonder, that's not where you want to be, able to jump away from the bubble, but this is already blinking health bars from Chicken Chasers, and they haven't answered any of the damage. Zyx and Gavin so low, below half health now, they're not even going to be able to defend this turret.
You can see they're definitely thinking that they want to get onto that Earthdrake. Because with a siege composition like this, you don't want Caitlyn getting more damage to your turrets. It's the last thing you want. But they end up being a little too close, and now they're not really... They don't have the health bars to defend against the push now after the dragon.
And it honestly just felt like a little bit of fear maybe coming in. I think that they might have been able to take the fight if they had just initiated onto Nerfakali Please. Yes, he has Playful Trickster, but if they're able to focus him, at least it pulls attention off of the dragon. So maybe you can turn that fight around. It's a difficult call to make, though. I mean, any team that's in that situation, it's so hard to tell them, oh, do this or oh, do that, because there's so many variables that can come into that kind of team fight.
Their most reliable method of landing a crowd control on here is definitely Zyx's Flash, which is currently down. And I think they're thinking that without the Flash knockup from Rek'Sai, they don't really want to take a fight where they might not be able to get onto Caitlyn, because they just don't have the reliable crowd control without that. And with that tool... Sorry, go ahead.
No, you go.
With that tool, they have the options to quickly lock her down. They've got lots of follow-up damage in form of Fiora can dive in afterwards. Ryze can dive in afterwards, lock her down additionally with Rune Prison. But without that tool, I'm thinking they're probably saying, we'll opt out of any fights until we're sure we can kill Kukurino.
And I think Chicken Chasers, their plan here is exactly what they didn't have the option for last game. Play for the late game. If you can get your Ryze just hyper-fed to that later stage of the game, he's going to be doing so much damage to the enemy team. And also, you mentioned the Fiora, the split push pressure coming in from her. It's just going to be impossible to take that 1v1. So Chicken Chasers, it's 25 minutes in. How are you going to prolong this? You've been losing around the map, bleeding turrets the past couple minutes. How can you slow it down?
They definitely want to slow down a bit on... right now you can see that they're, Ryze is committed to being that far up in the mid lane when he's their primary wave clear. If Ryze dies, they have almost no method of stopping the Caitlyn. As it is, it's hard for Ryze to deal with Caitlyn, just given Caitlyn's auto attack range. But they need to make sure that Ryze is able to stay alive so that he can keep clearing these minion waves, so they can keep getting gold on the Fiora.
Yeah, I mean, he does have the Flash and the Realm Warp and the Exhaust, but you don't want to use those because you got caught out. You want to be able to use those in a team fight to be able to facilitate either getting your team in, getting your team out, getting a flank, Snowcane. No MR in his build, taking a lot of damage from the Ryze. There's the Exhaust, but Cripple coming in is able to land a lot of damage. Zodias will keep boosted alive only for so long. Snowcane picking up another kill. That's not the member that Chicken Chasers want to fall in that situation.
I hope you noticed that was quite the pose Boosted ended up in there in the Zonias.
Like, did he have his knee off like
Yeah. Legs spread, one arm just kind of waving out in the air. Gotta love Ryze's animations. But
Zayek's trying to do a Snowcane's push now, but this means that the mid lane is just free for the side of Ram Ranch. Nervicali, please getting aggressive onto Flez. There is the Proto Belt, but it isn't able to get the kill. Gavin picking one up. This might be what Chicken Chasers need now. Flash and Burrow onto 3 members. Exhaust onto the Rek'Sai. Is that really what you need? Cripple's able to ult in. So many members falling from Chicken Chasers. They can't defend the turret. 2 have fallen. Boosted finally up, and that turret finally falls in again. Cucker Rhino just untouched in that fight. Full health, no deaths. Able to auto attack to his heart's content.
So unfortunate that Boosted ended up dying ahead of this fight, because Ryze there with the crowd control onto...
Ooh, aggressiveness.
Oh my goodness.
He jumped on the trap. He jumped onto a trap. Maybe he didn't see it. Maybe he didn't think he was going to go that far. I don't know, but just giving a kill.
I mean, I'm in no position. Believe me, I'm in no position to criticize anyone for doing that kind of thing. Like, I know the feeling, Gavin. My heart goes out to you. I know the feeling.
I'm in Ezreal. I have Trinity Forest. She's like, Caitlyn, I can take this.
And Caitlyn's burst starts to get a little ridiculous when she has that much critical strike chance. Like, between the fact that, if she gets an auto attack off on you and then you step in her trap, she gets to auto attack you again, and this time it's a headshot, and this time it also crits. That's like 1,200 damage. That's before armor, of course, but Ezreal's not going to have any armor in his build since he's gone Triforce. That really hurts. Yeah,
you just can't really hope to survive after that, Kyle. Throwing that bubble forward just in case Boyge gets aggressive.
Oh, round two.
Redemption coming in. Gavin trying to get onto Cucker Rhino. Very low health for this Caitlyn right now. Are we about to see her first death? Might be. But again, they just can't quite get onto her enough. Boosted one more time. Can he take on Snowcane? This time Cripple is nowhere nearby. This might be what Ryze needs, but no, he's just going to Realm Warp to safety. So he take down the Renekton with so much damage, and more importantly, that Guardian Angel also onto Cripple. There's just nothing that Chicken Chasers can do. Again, they let the game slip out of control.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to Ram Ranch's ability to find these fights that they wanted. Because like I was saying at the beginning of this game, when you're playing around something like a Caitlyn, you're playing around
Nice getting on to Kakarino. This might be exactly what they need, but the team is not there to follow up. Plus, a Nami tidal wave means that Kakarino's going godlike. He gets a double. Can they give him anything more as Snowcane is able to clean up a couple more? Triple to Kakarino. Can he make it a quadra? Boosted. You can't get out of this, but you might let the turret skate. Oh! Boosted goes golden. Does not pick up a kill. Kakarino barely able to flash away from that last turret shot. Oh, this is going to be another GG going over to the side of Ram Ranch. There's Chum the Waters on to Boosted. He's going to go down ace. The Nervicali, please, making that trade. But the team is taking down these Nexus turrets, is taking down the Nexus, and is taking this to Game 3. 2-0 to the side of Ram Ranch.
Yeah, well played again. You can see that every single fight, it's like they're diving in after Kakarino, but Nami's keeping him alive, and then he just can kite back out and do so much damage. Really well played from Ram Ranch there.
And what is what are they going to do to stop Kakarino right now? This is so difficult for them to deal with his ability to play so many champions incredibly well. I mean, we saw him pop off on Jinx. Now we saw him pop off on Caitlyn. Maybe you could say better because he didn't die this time. But he had less kill participation, most of that due to just, I think, the less bloody team fights. It was a longer game, but honestly, I think we saw less action throughout.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's got to be tough. I don't really know either what you do about something like this. I think they just have to start banning. But like you said, his pool is so deep, so I don't know what you do. I don't know what you do about that either.
I think you maybe take the Varus and take away that Caitlyn, because that was just disgusting. She wasn't playing the Jinx this time, but still having so much damage. What I do like from Chicken, however, is their ability to adapt their bottom lane. They pick up the Ezreal for Gavin, and he actually performed very well on this champion. I think there was a questionable play at the end, jumping onto the trap. But other than some of those plays, I think he was doing very well. Flez was doing serviceable on Karma bot lane. They didn't lose that too hard. The issue was around the map boosted. Just couldn't handle Cripple and Nerfakali Please roaming together. They went top side. They went bot side. They roamed around the map as a pair. And that's just so hard to deal with when it's something like a Fizz that can put out so much damage and Cripple that can get that initiation on the Jarvan.
Well, yeah, not just top and bot either. Cripple played plenty of visits to boost his lane as well. We saw in the first 10 or so minutes of that game a lot of focus on the mid lane. So maybe they look to get Cripple off of the J4, but really when you have so many champions you feel like you need to ban off, you've got to do something in champ select so that they can get something out of their second round of bans.
And with that, I'm going to give player of the game. It feels like a cop-out to give it to Kakarino, but I honestly, other than Kyle, I think Kyle has a very strong argument for him. But honestly, he was just kind of playing the champion that he had. You're Nami, you keep Caitlyn alive, you throw out that ultimate anytime somebody is initiating on your team, but he was able to do that incredibly well. Also, his vision control was very impeccable throughout the game. So I think I'm going to give it to Kyle this time, just for different flavor.
I gotta get behind every AD carry is a good support, am I right?
Exactly. As an AD carry player, I appreciate you accepting me as a support player. we do things too.
Shouldn't have had the bot lane casting this game since it's so bot lane focused, but
True. Yeah, it just offers a new perspective. But with that being said, who would you give player of the game to?
Oh, I think I would agree with you. If it's not Kyle, it has to be Cripple, just because he played the early game really well, keeping Nerfakali Please's lane ahead of Boosted, and also I think doing a really good job finding the fights later. So that support jungle synergy you hear so much about, the really high levels of competitive play, where he and Kyle were really working together to both deny vision in Chicken Chaser's jungle, and when they knew that they had the vision advantage, using that to take advantageous fights.
Absolutely, and with all that being said, we're going to take a short break here so we can get refreshed for Game 3. Is it going to be a reverse sweep, or will the side of Ram Ranch be able to close it out right here and right now? Find out in just a couple moments, so don't go anywhere. We will be right back. All right, and we are back for Game 3 of Minnesota LCS, third place qualifiers. One more time, Minnesota Duluth Chickens against Ram Ranch. We've seen Ram Ranch with a dominating win in the first game, and they struggled a little more for it the second time. Chicken Chasers gave them a fight, but they were able to pick it up at the end. Again, playing around that bottom side, Cucurino doing so much damage, performing so well on Caitlyn in the second game, Jinx in the first game. What are Chicken Chasers going to do to deal with this going forward here?
I think all they can do, I think the last strategy to try here is just try to completely ban out Cucurino, get him on anything that he'll be uncomfortable enough on. They could look to do something with boosted 420s, assassin pool, like get him onto more of an assassin, something that, or out of the jungle, maybe a Kha'Zix, something that can, get into the back line and blow up Cucurino before he has a chance to get his damage off. Other than that, I think outside of ban phase, we'll have to see what they can do if they can adapt their pick ban to get around it.
Very peculiar bans here, as we see Chicken Chasers. They ban out the Ivern and the Lulu, which I completely agree with, but they ban Syndra. I would have personally preferred something like ban out the Nami and then first pick the Karma, because then you're taking away any of those supportive champions that can keep Cucurino alive while still getting a strong pick for yourself. But they ban out the Syndra, something that we haven't seen. It's been banned every game, but I'm just very curious why they're opting to take that off the table. Maybe this is them thinking, look, we're accepting that Cucurino has such a deep champion pool. It's pointless to take away anything from him. I'm just curious why the Syndra instead of another champion that will just keep Cucurino alive long enough.
I'm curious about that too. They were looking for the Yasuo specifically here. It seems to me, since that's been left up this game and hasn't been left up in previous games. Maybe they figured the Syndra, the Boosted doesn't want to deal with that in his lane, and that Yasuo on his own will be enough to deal with Cucurino. But you can see the karma coming in from Ram Ranch. They're just saying, third verse, same as the second, same as the first.
And now they have an option to counterpick this mid lane. Honestly, I don't think Syndra into Yasuo is that bad of a matchup for the Yas. If she's able to land a stun and then pop that ulti, you will be up fast enough to throw that wind wall. But he's going to also have an opportunity to show the wind wall mechanics against an Ahri, making sure that those charms don't come through. And with a Gragas Zac, this is something that we were missing from the last two compositions from Chicken Chasers. The first game they had Nautilus top, but now they have Gragas and Zac for so much initiation. I honestly like this a lot. The question being now, Ram Ranch have so much freedom to draft around this heavy initiation. I mean, the double knockup from the Gragas barrel and the Zac ultimate means that Yasuo is very strong, so Ram Ranch, I wouldn't be surprised to see them try to pick up something like the Ezreal and AD carry. They can be very defensive, and maybe something like a jungler that has a lot of mobility as well, something like the Graves, the Lee Sin. Actually, Lee Sin is banned out, so it's not going to be that. And actually, Ram Ranch taking Caitlyn away from Chicken Chase. This is something interesting as well.
They've also opted for the Mundo pick for their top lane, just a gigantic beef wall tanks. Mundo's kind of interesting. He can split push. He's good in a siege situation because of his inbuilt sustain. But in terms of peel, he's a little bit lacking just because he doesn't have hard crowd control. So kind of a different option here for them. I know he does play well into most tank matchups because of the percent health damage on Cleaver. So a kind of maybe not unorthodox, just an adaptation, maybe one I wasn't expecting.
Can we just call it a silly pick? Because in all honesty, it's a champion that I just think that there's so many other options that do much the same thing. They just do it better. The only thing about Dr. Mundo is just the pretty much impossibility to kill him. That's what I'll give him, is if he's able to jump on the back line and just kind of walk towards him, he can massive disruption. But we're going to expect to see Gavin on something like a Lucian, something like an Ezreal that can kind of jump away from him. And Yasuo is not going to worry about Mundo jumping on him because Yasuo is going to try to jump on the other team. Warwick locked in for Ram Ranch.
I play with somebody who's a Warwick player. I think the Warwick player in MNLCS, basically. Certainly the most common one to play the champion. Very long-range initiation and very tanky with the damage resistance on his E, as well as better early ganks than he used to have, but still more of a level 6 jungler and less of an early pressure, like very early levels 1 to 3 pressure style jungler.
and that ultimate being so strong at catching out individuals that are out of position. The only difficulty being is how many members of Chicken Chasers have gotten caught out of position so far. I mean, Boosted 420 has constantly been so far ahead in lane that I think that it's going to be difficult for them to deal with this Warwick. So I like the pick, and I really like the way that they're able to kind of style on it and use it around the enemy team. Jace locked in. This is a completely different composition, save for the Karma that Ram Ranch is playing right now, and my God, does it look just silly.
Jace 80 carry. I was looking at this like, oh well, who did they?
Oh my God, you're right.
It's like it's a Jace 80 carry. We're yeah.
I didn't even realize.
Style boys, I suppose.
Well, all right then. Okay. We're actually having some talk in the chat. They did not mean to ban Caitlyn. They just clicked it last second, and unfortunately, it did stick. So I think this is the team composition that we're gonna see. We're getting some confusion, though. We're just going to take a short break, try to clear this up with the players. I don't think that the Jace is actually locked in. So, Wexler, explain to me and the viewers what 80 carry you think would be better in this situation.
Well, I mean, take a wild guess. I'm always gonna suggest Twitch in any given situation. No, in all seriousness, Lucian's probably the way to go here with the Karma. Very strong bully lane early. Does feel bad in the Braum a little bit. Maybe they do actually want the Twitch, now that I look at this. Although that's hard to deal with Zach on that champion. So, probably not Jace. That's about all I can say for sure. Varus is up as well, but he also struggles a bit with Gragas and Zach, so probably the Lucian, just to have the mobility to get around these team fights later with all of this crowd control that's going to be flying around.
All right, and again, we're just trying to get a ruling on this. Unfortunately, we have confirmation now that the side of Ram Ranch, this is not the composition that they intended to draft. The issue being that they finished up their draft in kind of a troll way. The issue being that they have to understand that they can't necessarily change their draft if there's no agreement from the enemy team. Both have to agree that, yep, it's okay for them to change their pick. I think we might have gotten confirmation at the end that they can pick a different 80 carry, since it was the last pick anyway. The Jace was locked in. And that was completely on accident that they banned out the Caitlyn, so they were just kind of taking the rest of the draft not that seriously. So maybe we're going to see a different 80 carry here. I'm not quite sure what the teams agreed on at the very end there. I wasn't reading everything that was posted, trying to message people individually, but all I know is that both teams have a draft, and I think we're just going to have to go through the whole new pick and ban here in the actual client, knowing the bans.
We get we at least get the ban line and all that, all the spectacle around whoever gets here.
True, and hey, we still get a little surprise potentially at the end. Unfortunately, we have a lot of officials that are in MNLCS play. So it's hard to kind of be like, no, it's okay, we'll just kind of play chill, because like, nah, there are rules. We do have to follow rules because we are trying to be as professional as possible. These team agreements, when they enter the tournament, they know the expectations that are on them. The only sloppy thing is that this is a new pick and ban tool that we're using, so it's difficult to kind of say, no, you can't absolutely. But again, gentlemen agreements are always what we try to strive for, and it does seem like we do have that gentleman's agreement. Kakarino is locking in Jinx instead of the Jace. Makes a lot of sense. Good job, both teams, being able to clear that up.
Yeah, Jinx is definitely an option here. If Jinx gets a reset, she's very hard for Zach and Grogs to get onto, just from the extra movement speed. But if they can get to her before she manages to pick up a kill, they do have the opportunity to blow her out before the fight starts. So I think that pick certainly makes sense given what we've seen Kakarano can do on the champion, but they have the tools to deal with it this time better than in game 1, I think.
Yeah, and bummer, again, Caitlyn was banned out because obviously Ram Ranch did not want to ban that. Seemed as if they maybe wanted to play it instead, but they accidentally hovered it over the ban instead of the pick. They didn't realize maybe that it was the third ban of the round. But again, Kakarano getting on a champion that he is comfortable on. And yes, still can deal with that Zac and Gragas initiation. Difficulty being you're against an Ezreal again. Last time Jinx was able to beat the lane with the Lucian, but now there's Braum to kind of stop so much more of that damage. And this is actually the first tank support that we've seen in this series.
That's true.
So far, we've seen kind of a meta between these two teams like each other. It's always Nami, Karma. Well, this time, no Nami.
Nami
3 tanks.
Made it all the way through pick and ban phase. Granted, it was a bit of an unusual pick and ban phase, but Nami was available for these teams to pick, and they decided to opt for the Braum. Braum does have excellent synergy with Ezreal because Mystic Shot applies on hit effects. So Ezreal, aside from Lucian, is the fastest AD carry in the game at stacking concussive blows and getting that stun off, which means that this lane can actually end up going pretty badly if they can get that stun onto Jinx early. But Karma's damage is such good insurance in these early trades that kind of no matter how the trade goes, you're going to get chunked by the Empowered Soul Flare. So,
something that I'm just noticing now, we actually had a lane swap side of Chicken Chasers. Gavin97 going in the jungle with Zayax as AD carry. I thought it was Gavin's legendary Ezreal that we just saw last game, but nope, this time it's getting swapped up. Interesting to note there. But also, sorry, what?
We did get to see 2 Ezreals in the series, 2 different players playing Ezreal. It was just not the ones we expected.
True. And another thing with Chicken Chasers, their team that they drafted together, very lacking on AP damage. Zac and Gragas can do a little bit, but it's really not going to be enough to warrant any MR built from the opposing team. Maybe Mundo will pick up an early Spirit Visage because he's Mundo. The extra healing is so strong in him, and during laning phase, it's good against Gragas. But after that, I mean, Warwick, Mundo, they can just easily build armor, pure armor, and survive any kind of initiation. I mean, Yasuo, the only person he's going to want to ult is going to be Ahri, Jinx, and Karma.
Absolutely. Not to mention the kind of value you can get out of a Randuin's Omen here, too. Since Yasuo critically strikes on every auto attack, once he gets to the later parts of his build, it's essentially a flat 10% off of Yasuo's damage. As well as synergizing well with Warwick's kit, since he jumps into the backline, he can get that slow across multiple members. And Mundo, since he wants that slow to help him stick to his target when he's trying to be the big destructive beef tank in the backline. So really good itemization options available to the tank line from Ram Ranch.
And honestly, we could see something like the Ninja Tabi coming from Jinx. It's a boot item build that a lot of AD carries have been taking when they're really trying to be safe in lane and not lose. It's very strong into the likes of Caitlyn, into the likes of Lucian. What's your opinion of Jinx taking it into the likes of Ezreal? There might be an argument for it, maybe not. I'm curious.
I wouldn't here, especially on someone like Jinx. On someone like Lucian, who you're building more towards a power spike, it kind of makes more sense to have better fight power versus your enemy AD carry in lane. Jinx really just wants to get as much damage for the late game as she can. And to that end, Berserker's Greaves work a lot better. The other thing I would say about Ninja Tabi is that they're pretty inefficient. Well, I shouldn't say that. They're very efficient on their own, but they're a multiplier because they make your other armor items better. Building Ninja Tabi without other armor items is a little bit like building Rabadon's Death Cap without other AP. It's not quite the same thing. It's not to the same degree, obviously, but building Ninja Tabi by itself is still a little bit of a... You still end up kind of not being able to use that stat as much as you would like in the later game. And since Jinx is kind of... You think of her as the later game champion anyway, I would expect Berserker Greaves to be what comes out for Kakarino here.
And a little more education now. The more I know.
That's just me. People certainly will argue with me about Ninja Tabi, I'm sure, but I will come out, tip my hand and say that I'm not a fan of it on most AD carries.
Honesty is good. Honesty is absolutely the best policy. Now, give me your opinion. Who had the better overall pick and ban?
Well, I'm hesitant to say too much given the circumstances. I certainly think that boosted 420 has gotten onto a champion he's very comfortable with. We saw the Yasuo ban in the first two games. So, you know, maybe that's something that they're looking towards, so that they have incredible comfort on the mid lane and really good setup for him. All three other champions that can all set up that ult. Whereas on the side of, but I'm going to have to give it to Ramranch still, just because we've seen this work twice already, where Kakarino's on a really high damage auto attack base carry. He's got protection from Kyle. He's got a bit of peel from a tank line. Even Ari's is a pretty decent peel champion with charm. So I think I have to give it to Ramranch, just continuing to stick with what's worked for them so far this series.
And I'm actually going to give it to Ramranch for a different reason. They have 5 skins on their, which I think is absolutely a win, but this will be all 5 members meeting in the bottom jungle. Kyle's taking a lot of damage. Flash away heal, but first blood goes to Xyx. Finally, we're seeing some action early in the game. Flez, can you get off one more concussive blow? This is why the Braum is so strong. Flashing from Boych Wonder, flash away from Kakarino. Auto attack into the room.
Oh my god.
Sleep onto 3. Kakarino has no summoner spells to keep him alive. There's a concussive blow passive. This is going horribly for the side of Ramranch. They lose 2 members. Knock up onto Nerf Akali means that they might just finish the concussive blows, but a defensive flash saves his life. But already 2 kills going over to the side of Chicken Chasers, a minute and 15 in.
Right after we got done talking about Ramranch, huh? Just nothing like it. Nothing like it. And the gold goes on to Xyx there. That's going to take some getting used to. The gold goes on to Xyx there. He picks up an extra potion and a longsword for himself. That's really what you want in that early game.
Yeah.
Coming for Kyle here, though.
This is the thing when you're the ranged AP champion. It's so fun to just get off auto attacks and abilities early game because you have that Spell Thief's Edge.
Stop. Just stop, Kyle. Let the poor man recall.
He just needs that gold, man. He needs the passive gold. I mean, they already gave up a kill to Flez.
That's funny. Getting some value back. Looking for the incremental advantage off the back of the kind of unfortunate level 1 for them. It's definitely something you have to watch out for. Braum actually has one of the better level 1s in League of Legends for these kinds of invates.
Karma having a great one as well, but kind of answered by that Braum passive.
Yeah, Karma brings a lot of damage, but damage doesn't really help you if you can't lock down the team afterwards to kill them. Braum brings more lockdown at level 1 than possibly any other champion in the game, because he's got crowd control loaded into his passive. So I think you can kind of see that the level 1 the composition from Chicken Chasers is just kind of better in the slugfest.
Well, I think that the biggest thing is who saw who first. Chicken Chasers were in the bush. The mastery emotes. Chicken Chasers were safe in that bush. There was no vision on them. They saw immediately Ramranch start heading down. I think if it had been the other way around, Ramranch would have won that. Ooh, Xyx taking a lot of damage. He'll force to jump away. Flez going aggressive onto Kyle. There's those concussive blow passive. I mean, once you're at 3, you just can't go in anymore. But Boosted trying to get damage onto Nerf Akali, please. That's why you banned the Yas against him. Man's a machine.
In and out. Just sweeping blade all over the place. See, really scrappy mid lane here. Both mid laners under 50% health. The extra potion from the Doran's ring start, it's going to sustain Nerf Akali please a little bit more right now, but Doran's blade can be procced across an entire wave with Steel Tempest. So good sustain coming in for Yasuo, and Gavin scrapping a little bit.
Ooh, there's some more aggression getting onto Flez. The shield goes down. So much damage from Kakarino. And they're just not letting up right now. Again, the Jinx is bullying the lane.
This is actually a little bit less surprising with the Ezreal. Jinx is a little bit more like a Caitlyn in this kind of lane. It looks a little bit more like the Caitlyn Ezreal lane, just from the auto attack range from Switcheroo. And you can see that Gavin really needs to do something about this. Jinx and Karma is a very gankable lane if they're going to walk this close to your tower, particularly for something like a Zac that can jump in out of the Fog of War. So
Xyx already being 10 CS behind. Yeah, he has some kill participation, but they're not really netting much with this gold advantage right now. The junglers are dead even in gold at the moment. Both looking to go to top side. Cripple getting onto Boych Wonder. There's the fear, but Gavin 97 jumping in, getting the knocks up. Cripple's the first to go down, and the counter gank performed beautifully. This is exactly what a Zac can do. ganking from so far away, especially if they know that the enemy jungler is nearby. The counter gank potential is just ridiculous. Boosted getting aggressive on a Nerf Akali, please. Trying to get the shield out to the charms. He's 2 levels up on the Ahri. Not able to get much for it. Gavin sticking around on the top side. Snowcan gets 1. Flashes away. Is he going to survive? Able to walk away with his life just barely.
Oh, just Mundo things. Kind of funny about Mundo's kit versus other champions. He just has so much health regen inherent in his kit that over the course of the fight, he regenerated enough health to survive at the end there. Any other champion would have died in that situation, but Mundo gets away with it. Pretty much for being Dr. Mundo.
Pretty much. Maybe this is why they picked it. Like,
could be.
I'm never gonna die.
Yeah, he's almost really just so hard to kill. And it's like the champion doesn't bring much else besides the fact that you can't kill him, but sometimes that's enough.
Oh, Zayax very low. Oh! And the long-range snipe from Kukurino. Flash that mastery, man. What are you doing? Kyle, you did nothing there. You don't deserve that mastery flash. Boosted getting aggressive on a Nerf Akali. Please, there's the ultimate. So much damage!
Oh my.
Solo kill! 13 CS ahead. Just dominant in this mid lane right now.
No wonder they kept him off as champion for so long.
I
do with it.
Never realized he was a Yasuo one-trick. Scumbag Yasuo players. Sometimes they work, sometimes they don't. This is one of those instances where you're happy to have him on your team. He's not 0 and 7, unlike every time I play with a Yasuo.
Yeah, he's looking like their team Yasuo, not my team Yasuo.
Exactly. He's like, this is the Yasuo that I play against, not the one that that calls mid.
Yeah, when he got autofilled as support. Yeah.
No, trust me, guys. I'm really good at Yasuo. Next up, looking at these jungle paths that we've seen them both take. Gavin97 with a great counter gank topside. Where do you expect to see him head next? He wasn't able to stop that solo kill top lane, or the 1v2 kill that Snowcane gave on Boych Wonder. What do you want Gavin to do next as this Zac?
Well, the thing that he's got here, that they didn't have in Game 1, is that Zac offers way more crowd control to the gank than they would have had in Game 1 to try to deal with this Jinx. So they have a much better in on bot lane, especially considering Jinx is completely immobile. He really should be looking to at least get that flash down and then come in for the repeat gank.
Ooh, another initiation from Boosted onto Nerf Akali, please! There's a wind wall, dashes through the charm! Doesn't even need it! The second solo kill for Boosted!
Wow. I don't know what to say about that besides...
oh, there's an initiation from Gavin onto this bot side, exactly where you said he needed to go. Kyle flashes forward, not over the Dragon Pit. Chompers won't keep him alive. Zayax gets that kill as the teleport is canceled from Snowcane, but completed from Boych Wonder, forcing the flash away from Kukurino with that body slam.
The flash coming out from Jinx is really important here because that's going to make it really easy for Gavin to get in for a repeat gank. They want to shut this Jinx down. They want to keep her from getting too far ahead like they did in Game 1. They've seen what can happen if they let Kukurino get too far ahead.
There's the body slam flash from Boych Wonder, but Zayax is a little too far away to offer this damage. Kukurino has heal as well. Cripple coming in. There's a level 6 Warwick. They jump and heal from Zayax, but he just doesn't have the mana to get that DPS. Zayax is going to be going down as well. Flash available, but Kukurino picks up another 2-0-1. Cripple also showing up here. Do they pressure for the dragon? Not able to get the steal. Cripple might force the flash. Flashes the wall. Braum jumps. Oh, a lot of action going there.
These teams, man, they just like to fight.
In the meanwhile, Dr. Mundo is still topside. Like, yeah, I'm just going to auto-attack this turret.
Yeah, it's
just to my heart's content.
Smart of him to cancel his teleport there, actually. It gives him the teleport advantage because his teleport's going to come up slightly faster. And he knows that he can push this turret in if Gragas completes that
meantime, Boosted! Nerf Akali, please, is still level 5! Jess gets level 6, but flashes instead of taking the Spirit Fire, or Spirit Rush. Now upgrades it. That's one of those things where you got to be ready to upgrade your abilities during a fight. You didn't need to burn that flash. Fortunately, sometimes it's really hard to get those kind of...
Yeah. Hot tip for all the viewers at home. I personally level all my skills using a mouse button. I would recommend it for avoiding pretty much that exact situation. So.
Well, I upgrade all my abilities using the button. So my upgrade for my ultimate is my V button, my V key. So I just move my thumb up, hit that, and then I have my ult available, and I can do it in the middle of a fight. That is what I find best, but find what's comfortable to you. so that you can get those quick level ups when you need them. Because now it is flash down in the mid lane, and we've seen what Boosted's able to do. Already 2 levels ahead, 40 CS up on Nerf Akali, please.
Something definitely to point out here that Ram Ranch is doing that I really like. You see these 3 control wards. One's getting cleared right now, but 2 control wards around the bot side of the map to spot out any potential heading in that direction from Gavin.
Kakarino getting damage onto Zayx. No bot turret available. Actually, I didn't even see that go down. That was first turret blood going over. Ult from Cripple is able to dodge the tornado from Boosted, but is not followed up with any damage. Colleague, please. And unfortunately, that's just an ultimate burn. You don't pick up much for it. Boosted in the meantime getting aggressive, but does not take that travel. Doesn't want to go for the last breath quite this early when he's this low on health. Wise choice, I'd say. But already has... Come on, scumbag. Witch Wonder jumping onto the top lane. Just, don't even go for that, Mundo. Lower than half health, not even worth it.
We see an engagement here.
Might be catching out Gavin 97. There's the ultimate. Flez jumping in. Can he get the concussive blow stacks? Isn't even there for that. Just there to keep Gavin alive. But Nerf Akali, please, is able to spirit rush over the wall. Boosted 420. Can he land a couple with the ultimate? Oh! Super mega death rocket picks up a kill for Kakarino. Evening up this this pretty close game. Actually, they're ahead now. They're 1,000 ahead.
This is going to be real interesting. Kind of the tale of 2 carries here. Can Boosted's Yasuo, that's managed to eke out this solo lane advantage, deal with Kakarino, who's looking like he wants to pop off again?
Ooh, Kyle XO getting damage on the Boosted, but there's the wombo combo! Zac into Yasuo is not answered with more than just a 1-for-1 trade, as Kakarino is just going to town onto Gavin 97. Not able to get it, but there's Boych Wonder over the wall with the body slam, with the damage. No explosive cast available, and the blast cone keeps Kakarino alive. Oh, do they go for more? Gavin jumping out of cripple. That's a dead Warwick. Wow. So much was committed to that play, but in the end, they're able to turn it around just barely, but they lose top turret.
Really, really close fights. You gotta, Kakarino really just putting on a clinic here, runs through the wind wall, no hesitation to make sure he can get the damage onto Yasuo on the backside of that.
And honestly, they handled the wombo combo brilliantly. I mean, Gavin 97 with the Zac into the Yasuo is such a strong combination, but it wasn't able to work out for them because of just how much damage Kakarino is outputting right now. Boych Wonder taking a lot from Snowcane. Is this the dive? Forced to flash the cleaver! And this Mundo is just... This was his lane. Boych Wonder doesn't have a lane anymore.
Mundo can really start to do kind of mean things to tanks in his lane. Sustains forever, has % health damage from Q. I'd almost want to see... You know what? I'm not going to put this down as a serious suggestion, but if you ever are in this kind of position on Mundo, Leandri's Torment. It's really fun. You didn't hear it from me. You didn't hear it from me, but it's a really fun item on him.
You're that guy. You're that guy.
Hey, if I'm playing top lane, I'm gonna have a good time with it. What can I say?
True.
See the Ninja Tab. We talked about those earlier, coming out already for Snowcane's Mundo.
And it makes sense when you are the tank that's going to be building a lot of armor.
Absolutely. Really good pickup against... It works out to be a lot of damage reduction, just flat DR against Yasuo. Does most of his damage with basic attacks.
Ooh, Kyle getting initiated on Kakarino. Can you keep him alive? There's a concussive blows, but Cripple over the wall onto Flez. They can't quite get him. Flez, you're a Braum. You can't be that far forward. Jumps to a minion, though. Stand behind me, barely keeping him alive.
Rocket.
And it is available. Doesn't make it. Close, though. Boosted 420 is not going to take the journey over to Snowcane. And this is another turret falling for the side of Ram Ranch. Chicken Chases, you had a lead early. Boosted 420 is fed. They just can't do anything with it. This Mundo's just running at the Yasuo, and he can't get away. This Yasuo's going to die.
That's what Snowcane thinks of your silly pick.
There were no minions left. No minions left to jump to, and... Oh my god, that's a feels bad moment.
That's what I was saying earlier though, like Yasuo, there's some really good itemization options against him because he does most of his damage with basic attacks. Ninja Tabai, and then I would expect Mundo to get a Randuin if this game goes long enough, and that's like 22% damage reduction against everything Yasuo does all the time. That's really strong.
This is those situations where you're so dominant in lane, and then you leave lane, and you're like, what's going on? I can't solo everybody? Come on. Turrets falling left and right now for the side of Chicken Chasers. They have not answered one yet, but maybe they're going to answer a kill on the top side. Snowcane flashing away the initiation from Gavin. Does get away with his life, but it means the jungler from Chicken Chasers showing top is a free dragon for Ram Ranch on the bottom side.
They're definitely happy to see this Earthstrike. Levels out the objective taking. Really gives them an advantage, I would say, just because Jinx's auto attack range is a really nice thing to have in a siege situation. It's going to help them get onto these towers quickly.
And these plays coming in from the side of Ram Ranch, they don't even care that they're a kill behind, because all they're doing is playing the objectives. This is all you need to do to win a game of League of Legends. This is great for beginners to watch. How do you win? Just, get turrets, get dragons, get
really
visions.
Is. You can see that gold lead is entirely from their tower advantage.
Exactly. I mean, yeah, they've been losing some of these team fights, but they've been rotating so effectively, and Chicken Chasers just have not answered it.
Curious if they're going to opt to take the Rift Herald. I don't think it's gotten taken once this game, but Mundo's in a position where he could really get a lot of mileage out of it, I think.
I mean, honestly, I don't even know if he needs it. It would make him even more scary, but there are things that Ram Ranch can be prioritizing instead, because honestly, this Mundo, there's no one that can deal with him right now. Even if they send 2 members, I don't think it's going to be enough. He's not a kill threat, and not necessarily like a split push tower taking threat. If you just leave him in lane, he's going to push wave after wave into your...
Yeah, well, Mundo is actually not bad at taking towers because he has an attack damage steroid and an auto attack reset. His attack damage when he uses his E scales off of his maximum health, and Mundo builds a lot of maximum health. So he's actually not that bad at taking towers. Certainly isn't the best at it, but you don't want to leave him alone with one for very long. And here he is looking to match up with Yasuo again. We've already proven that Boosted can't handle him right now.
Unfortunately, Boosted. Yes, you're playing Yasuo. Yes, you're ahead, but you can't take that fight. Gavin jumping onto Kakarino. There's the wombo combo, but exhaust onto Boosted means that he just can't get that damage. Kakarino kiting brilliantly flashes away. Boosted can't quite get onto it, but does get the shutdown. Nerf Golly, please answering it with one for his own, though. Can he get anything more? Snowcane jumping onto the backline. This is what Mundo needs to do, but the concussive blows stop his assault. Ultimate from Warwick. Return from Braum. It's a bloodbath between these two teams. 3v4 because Zach is so low. Just can't get into this fight. And unfortunately, Chicken Chasers, they just can't get much for that.
Yeah, they use so many resources getting onto Kakarino there. Granted, a lot of resources came out in return. Kyle's exhaust onto Yasuo. Very important to track that cooldown for the side of Chicken Chasers here. Because as you can see, when that exhaust comes down, it gets a lot harder for him to get onto Jinx. Very true.
Very true. Summoner spell cooldowns always going to be up later than the ultimate cooldown, so maybe Chicken Chasers, the goal is, look, just try to make the same play again, because this time it's going to go better.
Right.
Hopefully Boosted will be able to get that burst damage and take Kakarino out of the fight immediately, as now they're jumping onto Snowcane. This isn't exactly what I had in mind for the Chicken Chasers, but they're contesting the red buff. Hey, they're able to get it. Oh, wait. Do they? No!
No!
They didn't. Oh, they didn't get the red buff.
Oh, Ari's, I think the return on Ari's Q picked that up after the smite.
The Orb of Deception. Gavin, 97, is just jumping in every chance he can get. And he's a pretty tanky Zac, so honestly, there's not much that can be answered, but they are going for it. Charm lands onto Flez, jumps away, but takes too much damage. Cripple picking up that kill. Can they get anything more for it, though? Maybe a turret in the mid lane. They're looking to pressure it. Snowcane is on Zayax. Zayax so low on mana. Has heal available. You just got to run away. You're not going to be able to deal with his Mundo. He's just throwing Cleaver. Dude, using a headbutt gets the kill as an initiation onto the mid lane. Not followed up by Boosted this time. Instead, onto Cripple gets that kill. Can he get more for it? He's 1v4 on the enemy team. And there's a kill picked up for Boych Wonder on the backside. Finally, Boosted falls. Finally, Boych Wonder falls. Gavin is the last. And that is an ace for the side of Ram Ranch.
Good, really good thoughts coming from Chicken Chaser here. Like, you can see that they understand that Kakarino is somebody they need to deal with, but unfortunately there's just a lot between them and him, and Ram Ranch is doing a really good job of making it so that even if Kakarino's dying, he's dying hard, and he's taking a lot of Chicken Chasers with him.
Very true. Very, very true. And honestly, again, Gavin got a knockup. I think it was on Kakarino, but boosted. Maybe he was out of range. Either way, he did not take his Yasuo ultimate, instead getting a knockup with his own Tornado and bursting down Cripple instead, taking the Warwick out of the fight. And with some flashy plays, he might have been able to get a little more for that. But once the Yasuo is gone, I mean, that's so much of the damage. That's half the damage, basically. It's up to Yasuo and Ezreal.
Well, especially since Ezreal's opted for kind of the lower damage build here with the Iceborne Gauntlet instead of the Trinity Force. And this is the game time where Triforce would be spiking.
And Zayix was bot side, too. I mean, he wasn't even in the fight.
Got taken out of it by Snowcane.
Yeah, so very difficult for Chicken Chasers to take these fights. They need these damage dealers to be together. But now the armor is finally coming in. Snowcane having Sunfire Cape with 2 cloth armor. Cripple also having the Ninja Tabi, and what I would assume is building into that Randuin's Omen. But now here, Boosted getting aggressive onto Kyle again. Can he get anything for this? He takes the ultimate. Exhaust comes in again. They waited too long. Kyle finally getting exhaust. Boosted taking so much damage. Nerfakali please getting that kill. Kakarino with the run fast picks up another one. Cripple makes it 3. And Ram Ranch, they had the objective control. Now they have the kill advantage as well. They're owning this game right now.
Yeah, this is a little bit more the kind of progression you'd expect out of a Jinx, but Jinx with the Hurricane done now, looks like probably an Infinity Edge, maybe a Bloodthirster coming in next with the BF Sword.
But Chicken Chasers don't want it to go down. Slowly the charm lands on the Boyish Wonder, but can he get away? He's trying to kite under turn. Cripple taking a lot of damage from that turn. Goes down. Oh! And Gavin keeping Boyish Wonder alive just long enough, but Kakarino with that long-range ultimate does get the kill. Finally!
Oh my.
This does mean that members of Chicken Chasers are finally coming up. Can they jump onto Gavin 97? This is what they need! Kakarino's taking a lot of damage. Exhaust is down. She's kiting so well, but they finally get it. Boosted 420, picking up another kill. Snowcane, you just can't survive this much, but he actually goes back in. He's got Nerfakali and Kyle with very low health bars. But this Mundo's feeling so confident. Boosted 420, trying to carry the team on his back. But now Snowcane's getting so much damage on the back line, he might not even go down. He's trying to get the 1v3. Can he get damage onto Gavin 97? A double kill to the Mundo, making it a triple. Can he get Zayix? I don't believe it. He's 1v3, but he goes
Great boss down.
Oh, Zayix.
Zayix gets the legendary loot that drop there.
Oh. His heart's got to be pounding so fast. He's like, don't give him the Quadra!
Mundo just so hard to deal with. You can see when you pick a Mega Tank like Mundo on one team, like, against a team where you mostly have to itemize one resistance, it gets to be, after a certain game time, almost impossible for you to deal with him, because he gets to stack so much armor, and you don't really have a magic damage shield to deal with it. Gragas has even opted to go into more ability power with Leandri's Torment, the Proto Belt, but Gragas doesn't really have very good AP ratios, and his base damage also stops being impressive past a certain game time. So then you're just kind of left with the 2% burn from Leandri's, and that's not going to kill Mundo nearly quickly enough.
Especially because they have no grievous reduction except for execution calling coming in from Zayix. I mean, honestly, as weird as this sounds, I never thought I'd say this in my life, but if Gragas wanted to go AP, maybe Morellonomicon. Just to help deal with that health reduction, the issue being that first you got to get him to that 20% health, as Snowcane is just a monster on this Mundo right now, picking up some more armor, but also getting the Tiamat.
Oh yeah. That's probably a Titanic Hydra coming in that's going to help his wave clear, which is already excellent. It gives him another auto attack reset, and also makes him do a little bit more damage in fights as well. We're going to see what Chicken Chasers can do here. It's going to come down to a really, really good initiation out of Gavin, followed up by Boosted. If they can do that, they can get Ahri and Jinx on top of each other. Maybe they can get something here, but Charm lands.
Able to jump away from the Charm, but this is what happens when you're not tanky. You take a lot of damage. Redemption coming down. Kyle might be getting caught out, but the Redemption keeps him alive just long enough. Teleport coming in from Snowcane. Now Cripple, the Explosive Cast knocks him back into the team. Oh, the Braum ultimate knocked up Snowcane right as he finishes the teleport, but it is completed. Boosted, trying to get on the back line. Another exhaust! Feels so bad. He's just never able to get that damage out when he needs to, but he saved his ultimate this time, so maybe he can turn it around for this next fight. The inhibitor might be going down. What are Chicken Chasers looking to do here? They don't have the initiation anymore. Voyage Wonder, no explosive cast. The tornado doesn't land on the Cuck That's what they needed. Voyage Wonder with a flash body slam. Flash away from the initiation from Gavin, but Cripple's going to be going down very soon here. Voyage Wonder's so low. Snowcane also low. Can they get the Grievous Wounds? They get the ultimate. They're doing an all-in onto the Mundo. Is it going to be worth it? They do, but Syx is able to answer one back, or rather, Nerfakali pleases. It is still a 3v3. Can they get anything more for this? Teleport is barely keeping Zach alive, but it wasn't enough. Voyage, Fles, Syx, you're on the wrong side! The Super Mega Death Rocket picking up 2. Cuck with
kill.
The Quadra.
Cuck just can't keep this man down. What can I say? They got onto him a few times this game. They managed to kill him. He died 4 times this game, which was more than he died in either of the previous 2 games combined. But he still just does so much damage before he dies. And in this last fight, they didn't get onto him at all.
And the question is, are they going to go for the end? They actually don't. Boosted 420 is up in 2 seconds. Gavin 97 following another 5, so I think, yep, they could have taken at least 1 Nexus turret, but they say, look, instead, we're just going to take this top turret, make it a little easier for us to win the game later. And this might be the longest game of the night. We're approaching 26 minutes. Last game was 29 minutes long. First game, 21 and a half. Can Chicken Chasers at least prolong it a little longer? Again, this is the moment where you're so far behind, the goal is no longer to win. the goal is to do something else.
Can we kill Dr. Mundo?
They've killed him twice, so...
That's true. Well, can we kill him again? He's
exactly.
It only gets harder, so, you know, it's...
we don't care if it's a 5-for-1. We are taking Snowcane down. That's what the game is now. Or maybe get past 29 minutes. Make it at least a 30.
Randuin's Omens have come in now, so Yasuo's really going to start.
Oh, he's going in! 1v2 onto Cuck. There's no exhaust answered, but there's no follow-up damage. Cuck easily able to kite around that. Full health. Kyle with the shield, just making it impossible for Boosted 420 to get that, but he had to go in. Gavin now is the initiation. Almost knocks Cuck over the wall, but Fles, what is that shield? It's facing the wrong way, buddy. As Kyle almost goes down, but they're not able to quite follow it up. Boosted will be up in another 22 seconds. This might be Chicken Chaser's final stand. Ram Ranch look to Baron.
Yeah, Ram Ranch has an incredibly quick Baron. Between Blade of the Ruined King and Jinx just having very fast attack speed, Mundo can take it forever. Actually forever. He could probably just stand in that pit from now until the next 10 minutes. Not come out any the worse for wear. Ari just going to zone. I think this is very much... Yep, Baron goes over to Ram Ranch very safely.
And that there's just nothing that the side of Chicken Cheese right now. All they can hope for is a throw, the likes of which MNLCS has never seen coming out from the side of Ram Ranch.
It would be historic.
They are 12k ahead. They have Baron. There are 2 inhibitors down. And they also have a Mundo that's virtually unkillable, completing the Randuins. If he's able to get on this backline, there's just nothing Chicken.
There's even a QSS coming out for Jinx here. Kind of a bit of a lesser known fact. Yasuo's ultimate is technically a suspension and not a knockup. So you actually can QSS out of Yasuo ult. Something I think people...
maybe an answer to something like the Braum passive. Zach, I don't see it being that useful, honestly, here.
I support it. I think Banshee's Veil might be a little bit better, but Banshee's Veil also takes more gold to complete.
Oh, boosted 420, again getting caught out, but Nerfakali please is able to get out of this one. All members from both sides are on this bot side. There's the engagement from Ram Ramps, picking up an easy kill onto Fles. Gavin 97 is going to be the next one to fall. Cripple ulting in, double to Nerfakali. Can they make it a triple? Snowcane flashing in aggressively, but they're just going to look to end the game. Baron empowered super minions. Explosive gas.
Which Wonder just dunks himself. Cola.
He's like, I just need a bath. A bath after this. After this series. Ram Ranch looking so dominant. Syx going down to Cuck, padding the stats. Just want to have the best stats in LCS. Oh! Cuck got a little close. Had heal. Use it. Nexus will be falling here. Ram Ranch sweeping the series 3-0. They are your third place team in Minnesota LCS for spring split of our Season 1 production. Congratulations, Ram Ranch. Hell of a season and a hell of a way to end it.
Yeah, very just exciting set to watch. Lots of fighting, lots of scrapping. Very fun to talk about too, with a lot going on. But Kakarino, MVP for the series. Just straight up, there's not really a whole lot else to say about that. Just so much outsized influence on the game, even in pick and ban, with 3-4 bans coming at him in game 2, something like that, and still managing to find something he can play and really make it work. So props to him. Well played.
Yeah, I think player of the series, absolutely. Kyle, again, I feel the struggles, man. You're playing support. You're like, look, I did something too, guys. I helped. Unfortunately, it's
one more kill participation in this game than Kakarino. So props to Kyle. Technically
Three more.
Three more? Oh my god, I can't add.
Okay. It is okay. I honestly, player of the match or the series, I give it to Kakarino. Player of this game particularly, I'm going to give it to Snowcane. I mean, just doing silly things on this Dr. Mundo. We questioned the pick and the pick and ban. I honestly, okay, you did. I hard questioned it. I straight kind of flamed it a little bit, not going to lie. But shutting my mouth up, as I'm sure everybody in Twitch is happy about. So congratulations, Snowcane, player of the game for me, but player of the series, absolutely Kakarino, showing up huge here. Let's just look at these damage charts. More reminiscent of Game 1 than Game 2, but still really, really strong performances here from all members coming from Ram Ranch.
That is a lot of damage Snowcane did there. That is, Mundo should not be the second highest on his own team, or higher than anyone else on the enemy team in most games. That is not something you see very often.
True. But congratulations, Duluth. Not only did you get 2 teams to the finals, or to the third place qualifier, but you got 4th and 3rd place secured for your school. Bringing home, you didn't bring home the 1st place trophy, but you definitely did your school proud, performing well throughout the split, performing and giving us a great show here in the playoffs. Lot to look forward to for next season. I think both of these teams have a lot that they can bring to the table. Really fun to watch. So thank you so much to the players for giving us this entertainment. Thank you to all of you viewing out there, watching us put on this production. You're the reason we do it. Thank you to Envade Gaming for sponsoring this stream for us tonight. Go check out their website. They are on the screen. Thank you to... Who else do I need to thank? Thank you, Wexler, for being on the casting desk with me. It's always appreciated having a fellow MNLCS player with me.
Yeah, it was fun. It was a good perspective. Definitely fun to see a lot of these players, see these players again.
Anything you want to say to the fans before you get headed out?
Nope. Thanks for having me. Screw the fans. No, just thanks for having me out here. It's a great opportunity. For those of you who don't know, this was kind of last minute. I was asked to do this earlier today. And I happened to be free, and I said sure. So it was a lot of fun. Glad I could make it.
Exactly. And always great to have you on the show. Hopefully going forward for next season, we have you on a little more. I hope so. I hope that the fans want it. I hope that you want it.
Yeah. We'll see if they'll tolerate me, yeah.
And thank you to all the guys on the back line. Mike, our streamer, does a great job every single time. Cannot give enough shout-outs to him. Thank you to all the people who helped organize this tournament. And everybody, stick around tomorrow night, 8 p.m., we have Ganked by Gophers against Mankato, the finals of Minnesota LCS Season 1 Spring Split. This is what everything has been leading up to. Fall Split was kind of the proving grounds, but this is it. Who can win Spring Split and take home that trophy? Make sure you check it out. Make sure you share us on social media. Let's try to get the biggest crowd that we've ever had for MNLCS forward here, and we can't do it without your help. So appreciate anything that you do. And with that in mind, I'd just like to say, have a great night, and thank you all for stopping by. Those 80 carries. That 80 carry mains love it when she's in the meta because she is so fun to play. And more aggression onto Gavin 97. Exhaust comes in from Blez, but Cripple is here as well. Can they get the damage onto the Lucian? Heal comes in, but it might not be enough. One more auto, Kakarino. Those 80.
I would have liked to see an Ardent Sensor here since you have the hyper carry with you. Jinx.
Ooh, aggressiveness onto Kyle. Exhaust onto Gavin though. They tried to catch one member out, but there's 2 more to back him up. Kakarino picking up that kill. A teleport coming in from Snowcane. They're able to blast cone over the wall, but the never gonna work out well. Gavin 97 again just cannot handle this. Doesn't even have
too far forward for
the 4. Yeah, Zyx jumping onto him. There's the ult. There's the culling coming down, but the flash of Ivern with the shield keeps Kakarino alive. They might just turn it around, trying to jump out of Gavin 97. Flez auto-attacking with a Nami. Just not going to do enough. Oh, Cripple picking up another one. Flez flashing the ultimate shutdown gold goes to Zyx. But will it mean anything? They can't defend these turrets. Zyx goes down to Nerf Collie, please. Flez and Gavin with boosted in tow. They're trying to get back to their fountain. Can they even make it? Kakarino might be getting caught out now. The hook brings it back in, but the double shield comp. They just can't even kill him. They're just toying with them. Don't even attack him. Just go for the Nexus. They have no Nexus turrets. 2 inhibs down. Ram Ranch looking to make the game go a little later than we wanted to. They got a bad stat.
No, Ram Ranch that strikes you get in custom games don't count for
Lions. Here we see Zyx roving towards the bottom side. He's gonna unburrow or take the tunnel. It does go through. Oh, wait. Oh, okay.
Okay.
He doesn't take it.
I'm not totally sure what happened there. I didn't know Rexlite could do this.
Fizz with Chum the Water is an amazing ultimate to use in the jungle, but Fizz didn't have ultimate available. I'll get back to that. Kakarino getting engaged upon by this bot side. Gavin, the bubble lands. He's forced to flash the wall. Exhaust on the Snow King. Cripple has finally joined the fight again. It's so disjointed. Zyx is caught out. Goes down to Kakarino. Voyage Wonder stuck in the Cataclysm. He can't get out. Nerf Collie taking a lot of damage, but it's not traded. Double kill. Finally, Gavin can pick one up, but Cripple's getting one as well. Boosted's going to be going down. It's a 1 for 4. And Ram Ranch coming out huge there. Falling from the side of Ram Ranch. Chicken Chases, you had a lead early. Boosted 420 is fed. They just can't do anything with it. This Mundo's just running at the Yasuo, and he can't get away. This Yasuo's gonna die. Falling it's Omen, but now here Boosted getting aggressive on the Kyle again. Can he get anything for this? He takes the ultimate. Exhaust comes in again. They waited too long. Kyle finally getting exhaust. Boosted taking so much damage. Nerf Collie please getting that kill. Kakarino with the run fast picks up another one. Cripple makes it 3. No, Kane, you just can't survive this much, but he actually goes back in. He's got Nerf Collie and Kyle with very low health bars. But this Mundo's feeling so confident. Boosted 420, trying to carry the team on his back. But now Snowcane's getting so much damage on the back line, he might not even go down. He's trying to get the 1v3. Can he get damage onto Gavin 97? A double kill to the Mundo, making it a triple. Can he get Zyx? I don't believe it. He's he goes
down.
With a flash body slam. Flash away from the initiation from Gavin, but Cripple's going to be going down very soon here. Voyage Wonder's so low. Snowcane also low. Can they get the Grievous Wounds? They get the ultimate. They're doing it all in onto the Mundo. Is it going to be worth it? They do, but Zyx is able to answer one back, or rather Nerf Collie please is. It is still a 3v3. Can they get anything more for this? Teleport is barely keeping Zach alive, but it wasn't enough. Voyage, Flex, Zyx, you're on the wrong side! The Super Mega Death Rocket picking up 2. Kakarino with the Quadra.